Hello, 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 hello. How's it going, guys? We're back.
What's up, Kick? What's up, Eddie?
Not much, man. How you doing, Andrew?
Doing good, man. Doing good. We got a listen. I am going to the F1 race this weekend in Austin.
Oh shit, really?
So yeah. So gonna be attending Sunday. They were the boys in marketing were kind enough to get me a couple tickets. So I'm gonna be taking my son to that. So much appreciated for that, man.
Hey, that's awesome. Well, hopefully the team does all right. Let's see if they can score a point. It'll be incredible.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that whole journey's been wild, man. So if anyone's gonna be at the F1 race in Austin this weekend, would love to meet up, have a beer with you, man. But yeah, man.
This is episode 15, right?
Killing it.
This is episode 15, right?
Episode 16.
Oh shit! Fuck, we're crashing it.
No, that's my bad. I think the call sheet says 15. Let me change that.
That's
Yeah,
all good. That's all good.
It's
Episode 16.
It's
Episode 16. We've got a big episode today. We've got a big episode. We've got 3 guests coming on. Very different guests, to be fair. We're mixing it up a bit. We've got Comeback, we got Sam Pepper, and we got Marco Mereu coming on, which is Marco is going to be epic. I'm really looking forward to that. Sam Pepper, of course, is a legend in his own right, and Comeback has been asking to come on for a long time, and we're making good on that promise. I'm really looking forward to chatting to Comeback too.
Yeah. You couldn't be more right with the diversity here, man. But that's what I love about Kick, man, is like we are not a one-trick pony. We're listening to all communities, man. We're not safe from anybody, man. So like Comeback. Listen, Comeback has been pretty patient, man, because I'll let you know, like, I think you guys had an exchange on Twitter. I've had the pleasure of meeting him at multiple Dream Hacks. He has jumped into the community, man. But this guy's an OG streamer. He's been streaming for like 7 years, 8 years. The dude's got like 5 kids. I don't know how he does it.
He's got a 6th one on the way, right?
Yeah, he's either got a 5th one or a 6th one on the way, man. This guy was in Uprise. He raps, he writes music, he's a streamer. I have a clip of him that we can pull up and we can see if it'll work with our Discords. But he calls out a lot of like rumors around his verification, around his KCIP, and would love to get in and talk about that. But you mind if I just bring him in here real quick?
Man, of course. Let's do it.
Yeah, let's go. Comeback, you there, man?
Yes, sir.
What's up? Hey, just throw on your camera. I think we're missing it.
One sec.
There he is, the man himself. Fuck, I'm loving the merch there. Look at that. The Kick hat going on, the Kick shirt. Hey, that's awesome.
I got it all.
Yeah. No, Comeback, man. I was just telling Eddie, I think you coined yourself. I think I saw this on your Twitter not too long ago. What do you call yourself a loser with a winner's heart?
Yeah, loser with the winner's heart. That's right.
Yeah. So I thought that was cool. And you know what? I'll be straight up. Like, dude, I ignored you for a while. You know, I'm going to be very honest with you because I think when we talked about coming on to Kick Talk, dude, you were relentless. You were in my DMs. You were tagging me in everything. Yeah. You were saying blah, 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 blah. And I was like, holy cow, I'm getting bombarded, right? But the more I got to know your game, the more I met you at DreamHack, the more I saw you engage with the community, I started to understand your angles, right? And I think what you just wrote up there kind of says a lot. But I just want to be transparent and honest with you, man. I'm excited about having you here because your enthusiasm, man. Like your enthusiasm is infectious. And I was in the wrong. I was totally in the wrong, assuming something, right? Where you were just like coming after me. My attitude of you being like a pick me, I couldn't be more wrong, right? So I just want to apologize to you for not getting you on Kick Talk sooner. And I just want to thank you for like your infectious enthusiasm, man. So I just want to get that out of the way.
Oh, I really appreciate that. I understand your approach of it. I appreciate your patience and I'm grateful that you guys have me on here. You know, I like to say I take yes for an answer. I think a lot of people they're gonna see like somebody who's not known and that's how they view everything. It's like, this guy, how is this guy doing this? He's annoying. Why is he, but I think if anyone sits down and gets to know me or watches some of my content, I think they'll enjoy it. So I just keep pushing forward. I've always been that way.
Hell yeah, yo, come back. I've got a few questions for you quickly, man. And then what I was thinking, I was going to kind of just hand it over to you to ask anything you wanted. How's that sound?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, sounds great.
Awesome, man. So just on that note, Andrew just mentioned before, and this is a bit of a saying of yours, I guess, and you mention every now and again, but what does a loser with a winner's heart actually mean?
I guess the best way I can break it off on the top of my head is I've come across many challenges, and it seems to be the same way that kind of the Kick Talks happens, right? I try like 100 times, but I'm saying I still have the heart for it. So eventually, I'm gonna be a winner, but I still just don't coin myself as that just yet.
Fuck yeah. Hey, man, I love that. I tell you got to keep on trying, right? Persistency. Hey, man, that's the key to everything. Here we are now. It's been great. It's been a few weeks in the months rather in the coming, but we're here now. And I guess what? That applies to so many other situations as well. When it comes to your streaming, what can the viewers expect from your stream that makes you stand out? What is a comeback stream all about?
Honestly, I would say the number one thing is transparency. Not a lot of people in this industry are transparent or just like human at this point. When it comes to streaming and content, everything's fabricated, numbers, personality, you name it. It's just a bunch of nonsense. So I'm one of the realest there ever was. That's why I don't really mind putting myself out there, or, when people get a false perception of me, I just continue to do what I do. But I make music. I make music live actually now as well. I play Fortnite, involve my family. Like I'll play with my daughter and stuff like that. Primarily Call of Duty, but I've been trying to diversify because, obviously it's much more than gaming. It's reality. Like if we're going to do this every single day, I do this for a living. And this is literally how I take care of my children. So there's a lot of, serious, a lot of fun, but that's the moral of it is I think the biggest thing for me is, like I said, transparency, personable relationships, no matter what level we're at.
Hey, man, that's awesome. I love that. Transparency, I reckon, is the key to a lot of things as well. You are spitting wisdom here right now. What is, on your community, because I know community is a big part about your channel. You have a pretty loyal community. You got an active community. You got a lot of really strong followers there. What is the best part about your community?
I would say that's probably the best part too, is the recognition of, this industry is very congested with nonsense, and people understand, although, if I have a certain level of viewership or, I need a certain amount of support, they do that for me because they understand me as an individual, and we're here to make a change. Like I say, a lot of people and a lot of things in this industry are just nonsense. So the support there of that, it goes the longest way. Like they're just, there's the realest people in the world. Like it's, like I say, I like to vouch for myself a lot, but that's what it attracts. It attracts the exact same thing. Just the realest people with the realest actual support, that they're not here for much anything else.
Fuck yeah. On that note, so on the note of the community, I think you're doing something right because, correct me if I'm wrong here, but I've got it on good information that you actually were partnered on Twitch, right? At an average CCV of only 18, which is actually kind of unheard of, how did you make that happen? Like, in fairness, that's a pretty cool accomplishment.
I once held a lot more viewers, quote unquote, few years back, and they kept denying me for my partnership. They deny a lot of people for partnership on there. But even as my viewership lowered, I switched games, I switched content. I went from a console streamer to a PC streamer. I just continued to apply. It's the same thing what I did with KCIP. I got real lucky with the verification on here. I just want to give a big shout out to Trainwrecks. He knows me from Twitch. I talked to him prior to coming to Kick. I'm like, listen, man, I got 2,000 odd subs. My community is going dumb on Twitch, and Kick. I came here brand new, so I just applied the same concept here. Like I said, I just don't take no for an answer. Like, I couldn't get partnered at first, and I would just send in another application. And that's why I want to say thank you to you, because a lot of people are maybe applying for this and not understanding that it is still possible. So I keep applying, and if a human reads into my content or into my story, I think they'll enjoy it and I think they'll appreciate it. So that's how I got partnered. That's how I got everything that I got in this industry.
Fuck yeah, I like that. I love that. Andrew mentioned before you went on Underground Uprise, right? You've got a little bit of rapping skills going on. When are you potentially releasing a song? When do you have something coming for us?
Oh, so the last song we did in the semifinals in the last season of Underground Uprise with the OG Kills, we're gonna release that to all platforms very soon. And I'm working on some other stuff behind the scenes too. But like I said, I make music live every single Monday, and then I drop a little, maybe just like a verse at least every week, and I'll include the chat in that, for instance, or even freestyle, just have fun on live too. But like actual music wise, I haven't released anything in a while. So we're going to release what we did from the Uprise very soon to all platforms.
Hell yeah. Hey man, that's epic. That's epic. And big shout out to Underground Uprise as well. They're doing some awesome work there. Looking forward to their next season, right? Next episode coming out pretty soon.
And Comeback was very close to performing on the stage at DreamHack, man. He just got beat out in the finals, but he was right there.
Fuck, that takes a bit. That'd be scary. I'd be far too scared to go perform anything on DreamHack. That would be epic. Hey, Comeback, just quickly, man. Any questions from you that you got for me, for Kick, for the community, representing anyone else you may be speaking for?
I got a fair share of notes here, but I want to ask you something kind of off topic to start. Eddie, for you, if you had to move to the States tomorrow, where would you move to and why?
That's a good question. I would probably end up in North Carolina, mainly because right now there's a hell of a lot of tech talent over there. There's a lot of really hardworking people, a lot of companies out that way that I respect and have a lot of respect for. So I'd love to be amongst that engineering community. That would be a big sell point for me. So North Carolina would be.
Okay, word. Yeah, I'm from Philadelphia, so it's similar. It's kind of close by. I've been there before. I like it a lot.
Hell yeah. Now, to be fair, my geography when it comes to the States is a little bit flimsy, but Philadelphia, I've heard a lot of good things.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's good and bad. If you're right outside of the city, it's nice, but there's a lot inside the city is a little sketchy.
Philly is gritty. It makes a lot of sense that you come out of Philly, man.
Yeah, man.
I mean, that's like Rocky Balboa country, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yep. All right, so for other people that are looking to get verified or maybe even into KCIP for themselves, like say for instance they're just missing CCV, right? Like I don't always hold the metrics for that. So moving forward, how could somebody go about on getting an actual response or displaying their content as a quote unquote smaller streamer to you guys? Because I heard on a recent Kick Talks, I mean, I set my alarm for this. I try to tap in with you guys on the best of my ability. So you guys mentioned that it's potentially going to be case by case moving forward, if I'm not mistaken. So what do you think that other smaller streamers that are looking to even just get verified or get into KCIP could do moving forward for themselves?
Yes, that's a big one that we really want to push forward. I think it comes back to this idea that KCIP was created to help really great streamers go full time. That's the bottom line. The understanding is that there are so many incredible streamers that are out there right now today who don't have the ability to go full time. They can't, commit to making incredible content as much as they'd like to because they have to juggle a 9-to-5 job 5 days a week, and it's difficult to, pull that off. And our idea, our thesis, my theory, our theory here at Kick is that if we can find a way to find those streamers that are currently on the cusp of being able to go full time, get them on the KCIP and let them, dedicate themselves almost to live streaming, we could see that next generation of live streamers like pop on through. It's all about homegrown talent. That's the word we always use. It basically implies people who started off on Kick, built up an audience on Kick, and have succeeded on Kick. And, our goal here is to support them. And we very quickly realized with the Kick Creator Incentive Program, the KCIP, that unfortunately what we were doing with such high requirements, because the requirements right now, they're quite difficult to get into, right? It's not easy. It's not easy. And, we quickly realized that these requirements are a little bit harsh, and it's cutting off some really great creators. There's some incredible creators out there that just don't meet the requirements. Streaming for multiple hours a month, many tens of hours a month, averaging crazy CCV. It's hard work. It really is. The requirements are hard. So, our goal here is to bring the requirements well and truly down from a metrics perspective and bring the requirements up from a quality perspective. It's back to this old saying, quality over quantity. The quality content will trump the quantity of content or the quantity of CCV any day. And that's what we want to look for with KCIP. Right now we're kind of in a transitionary phase. We're trying to formulate that in a way because obviously the moment you remove, quantitative data and, replace it with qualitative data, it's a very difficult thing to do because how do you qualify someone for KCIP if you're not using metrics? It becomes subjective and then it, leads to potential discussion around unfairness, etc. So, we're working through that. We've got a vision. We've got a dream here and how we're going to achieve it. I think there's always going to be an element of metrics enabled around it. For the time being though, my advice to people would be to ensure they go about live streaming in the most transparent way possible. You mentioned that before. I think there's a lot of shortcuts you can take live streaming. There's a lot of shortcuts. There's a lot of communities you can join. There's a lot of things you can do, right? My advice is just do your own thing. Don't get involved in any shortcuts. Don't try to cut corners. Just make great content, enjoy yourself, go about live streaming, build up the community, and the success, the verification, the KCIP, all those milestones, they will come. If you try and cut corners, you're only going to find yourself misled and disappointed when you come back with an unfortunate rejection email. So, we can't reveal too much behind how we track that, but it comes back to this old sort of, thing that I love to repeat over and over again. As a platform, we can see what's going on. We know what's happening. And, when corners are cut, we can see it, right? So just make sure you do things by the book and hey, look, we want to get as many people into KCIP as we possibly can. We're trying to accept people every day. The more people in the KCIP, the better we're doing our jobs, the better the platform's performing. So, we're doing our best to get as many people through the door. We just, we got to draw the line at points where people maybe get in trouble. And keep in mind also, we also have the right to decline people if they're getting banned too often, if their content's too edgy. So, make sure you're being wholesome. Make sure you're being a good person. Make sure you're not doing anything wrong, right? Community guidelines, that's first and foremost. So, hey, look, I think there's a lot of advice I can give. At the end of the day, just be a good, member of the community. That is all we can ask. Be a good member of the community. Abide by the guidelines, don't try to cut corners, and success will come.
Stay out of the drama, for sure.
That's it. That's it.
Yeah. You're cooking, Eddie. I like that. So, along the lines of KCIP as well, is it true that certain streamers, no matter what their viewership is, they have a set rate, or does this vary no matter what?
So the KCIP has been evolving a lot. I say this a lot. When we came out with the KCIP, it wasn't perfect. Today, it's definitely better. Is it still perfect? No, it's not perfect yet. It's still far from perfect. It's evolving. It's constantly evolving. We recently very much overhauled how the KCIP metrics work, where we derive value from, how often we update certain variables in it. It is an evolving process, and I like to think that the current system we have now has been very accurate at dictating kind of what constitutes value for the platform, what constitutes a great streamer, and rewards people accordingly. So we've made some massive steps forwards these last month. I'm really proud of the team. I'm really proud of our system that we have in place. It's been much better at detecting the right people for the right payments. And overall, I think we're rewarding the right people more often. But again, we have a lot of work to do still. We're still figuring this out. We're still working our way through it. At the end of the day, this is all about making sure that everyone here gets paid an honest wage or an honest hourly rate almost. I shouldn't call it a wage. It's an honest day's pay for an honest day's work. Put it that way. We got to make sure things are fair. We got to make sure that everyone is in line and it's working as expected. And that's the biggest hurdle to overcome. But there is no fixed rate. Nothing's guaranteed. The rates can change every hour, every day, depending on the live stream, depending on many other metrics.
Okay, word.
Hey, real quick, come back. I got about 4 minutes here until we got to bring Marco in. So just a heads up.
Okay, a word, perfect. I know, like I said, metric wise, I need to grow a bit. When I first heard about KCIP, I saw a few people that I've known in the industry for years now, and it was just inspiring to get in myself. It wasn't quite what I thought it would be, to be transparent as usual. For me, like I said, obviously I don't have, a certain amount of viewers that maybe that's why the metric is so high. But like I said, I saw a lot of people getting paid pretty well, but it was, way before I got into KCIP that I have a very similar, at least activity wise, stream wise, activity wise, it seemed very similar. The viewership may not be there, but like I said, I don't focus much on that number because that number, I thought KCIP was more based on chat activity. If it's similar to the people that have 100 or 200 when I have 30, I thought it might be somewhere along the lines. But, in my personal case, it's very, very, very minuscule. So I've completely stopped multi-streaming for this. But that's why I just kind of wanted to touch on that directly.
I think at the end of the day, man, you got to do what's best for your channel, right? I think when you look at KCIP, I would never say hey, look, I don't want to multi-stream because of KCIP. I think you got to go hey, look, how do I make the best out of this situation? How can I maybe multi-stream, but also leverage that to build my community, to build my following, and then turn KCIP on when you simulcast, solo cast to Kick or whatever that may be. So, I think it's about being strategic in that regard. At the end of the day, I think, KCIP isn't going to make you a millionaire overnight, right? That's the reality. It's heavily dictated by the metrics on the platform, the chatters, your CCV, the activity, a lot of those aspects, right? And ultimately, as you continue to make incredible content, it'll go up. That's the bottom line, right? There are some people out there getting hundreds of dollars per hour, right? But to be fair, that's the minority, right? That's the minority. That's the people with large viewerships who are doing really well. But it has room to improve, and all you need to do is continue putting in the hard work and getting there. But with that being said, we're always looking to optimize. We want to make sure that things are fair. We want to make sure that the right people are getting paid the right amount comparative to each other. When you sit next to one person and say, hey, look, this is what my rates look like and your rates look like this, and you compare it, you hopefully go, oh, that makes sense. That's fair. If it's not making sense, then there's probably more details in terms of accurate viewers and stuff like that. It gets a little bit more complicated. But, all in all, our job is to make it as fair as possible. And, our job is also to make sure we can pay people the most amount we possibly can. So we're always looking to increase things as much as possible. But my advice on that front, man, is, just keep crushing it, keep putting in the effort, keep building the community, keep being positive, keep doing what you're doing. And hey, look, everything falls together, as persistency is key, right?
Absolutely. The next thing I need is a steak deal.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I've touched almost every base on here. So, how do I go about that?
Well, I'm assuming you're in the US, so you have to go to partners at stake.us and you know, from there, fuck Sam coming in with the raid. Appreciate that, man. You'd have to go to partners at stake.us, shoot them an email and be like, yo, I want a deal and see what happens. I think that's the that's the best way to go about it. But yeah, no, we're you know, obviously Stake works very closely with Kick streamers. It's separate businesses, of course. You know, Kick and Stake operated independently, but you know, at the end of the day, Stake is a big supporter of all Kick streamers. So I recommend you send them an email, say what's up. You know, maybe you just say Eddie sent you from Kick Talk.
Okay, word. Okay. I know we're running short on time. I was a big fan of the last Kick Talk. I think everybody was. I think if ever you guys have anybody combating Kick, we need train wrecks on deck. Especially if anyone's trying to talk down or against Kick, or you know, misconstrue information. Also, just to continue to fire off because I got to run shortly. Is there a guarantee in the near future that we'll be able to stream on like mobile, for instance, from the app, and maybe have different payments options like PayPal, maybe Apple Pay, even that way? You know, these new we got this new weekly pay and such, but I'm having a lot of people say that, you know, they want to use Apple Pay or PayPal and things like that. Is any of that stuff coming soon, or?
Yeah, so app-wise, we've got the new app coming out very soon. I was actually going to tease a version of it on my... actually, I better not now. Or should I?
You said it.
Nah, I better not. I'm not going to do it. The new app is looking fucking fired, though. It's looking good. It's looking really good. It's all coming together. Put it that way. Like you know, what we're doing here at Kick nowadays when it comes to features release, when it comes to what we're working on in terms of creating a better viewer experience, a better streamer experience, you know, just a better overall live streaming experience. You know, everything we drop product-wise now is going to be top-notch, and you know, you can only expect the best. So, you know, all those things you mentioned, whether it be in-app streaming, whether it be more payment methods, we're working on it, we're cooking away, we're going to bring you the best possible experience to maximize your ability as a streamer and your community as viewers to have the best possible time on Kick. So we've got you on that front, man. Everything you mentioned there, it's happening 100%.
Hey, comeback. Hate to do it, man. Hate to do it. We got Marco on deck, and Sam Pepper just came in, so I see him in our lobby. So it's gonna get raucous. But thanks for opening up this Kick Talk, man, and thanks so much for being here, man.
Can I bother y'all with one more thing real quick?
What do you got?
Just as a suggestion, it seems like front page and recommendations are almost identical and very repetitive. I was wondering if there's any ways potentially to have maybe random streamers who, for instance, stream a certain amount of hours or in a certain category, or maybe if someone from the front page hosts out, that it puts that next person on the front page. And, you know, they can only do that like once a week or something along the lines. Basically, long story short, I'm just thinking about front page and recommendations being a little different. It seems like, you know, they've gotten better, but at the same time, a lot of it is, you know, it's the same exact people, and recommended, it seems to be literally the same people that are on the front page or recently on the front page, rather than like new up and coming streamers, for instance.
You got to watch my streams, man, because we open up with that all the time, and the pick-me's come out, the pick-me birds come out, and then what I do is I open up my stream and I name out all the streamers that we have front paged, and one person can name any of the streamers that I mentioned in there. So I invite you to come into my streams. You can hear that list being read out every day. I don't know that I totally agree with you, but everything can get better. I totally agree with that.
I think on that note as well, I think in terms of the tech side, the homepage, the way it's curated from the recommendations, there's a lot working on that. You know, a large goal for Kick right now is, watch more. And watch more, what that entails is essentially making sure that people who view Kick will end up watching more streams, right? And in order to do that, we need to recommend more streams that make more sense to them, right? So that's big thing we're working on. Our recommendation engine is very far from being optimal at the moment. And, we want to heavily improve on that. So, what you mentioned there, it's certainly, again, it's coming. And, we want to make sure that the right people, again, the right feature time, Andrew's got that under control. I think there is a very fair system there that really does highlight a lot of people. But in terms of the homepage itself, categories that are recommended, streams that are recommended, that needs a big overhaul, and we're in progress. It's going to be great when it comes out. That's a huge aspect of what makes a successful social media company, a successful social media platform, is being able to ensure that people are getting curated and served the content that they want to watch.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, thank you guys so very much. I'm grateful, and I am looking forward to the improvements.
Hell yeah. Hey, come back, man. Really appreciate you coming on. It's great to properly have a chat with you. Been following you on Twitter or X for ages, and I've been seeing you in my chat all the time, so it's good to finally talk. And I hope you have a really awesome weekend. Appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, it's good to talk with you too. I appreciate it. Andrew, thank you a lot as well.
Hell yeah, man. We'll be in touch, man, for sure.
All right, I'll talk to you guys soon.
Catch
Later.
All right, later.
All right, such a good bloke, that guy.
Yeah, man.
It's so chilled.
It's so proper that he's out of Philadelphia, man. That is such a gritty town. That dude's full of grit, man. Like he said, he doesn't take no for an answer. But at the same time, like when you bring him in, he's got something to say. So mad respect for that.
Hell yeah.
But hey, man, I'm going to keep it moving along. We got Marco, CEO of M80 Esports. These guys are an amazing roller coaster in the esports landscape. You guys are tracking them. An amazing CS2 team, but also they've made some really tough moves in a lot of the things they've done. I mean, like recently they just had to get rid of their like M80 Valorant team, and their team went back-to-back finals in the Americas division. We can learn a lot from these guys as far as like making very hard business decisions. Also, these guys were involved in like the longest CS2 tournament in like 71 rounds, man. I think another thing about 71 fucking rounds, man, and they went so long that they had to take a bathroom break. Yeah, I'll let him tell it, right?
Okay,
I'll let him tell it. Yeah. But and then the other heads up on these guys is these guys are starting to partner with cryptocurrency software platforms, man. Like M80 is getting really progressive in the way that they move around in the esports space, and I think that that's why M80 is starting to vibe with us, is because we're shaking up the market and they're shaking up the market by doing different things within the esports platform. But I'm going to bring Marco in real quick. Hey, Marco, what's up? I don't know if you heard me doing a quick intro on M80, but it's great to have you on here, man. And then, if you could fire up your camera, that'd be awesome.
Nope.
Oh,
we lost him.
we lost him. Let me drag him back in.
Hey, just a quick shout out to all the people dropping me subs, by the way. I really appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
Marco, you there?
Yeah, I'm here, man. Can you hear me?
Can hear you. Yeah, there it is.
Oh, there we go. Sorry about that. Old man challenge, technical difficulties.
Hey, man, I'm right there with you. Don't worry about it, man. Hey, I was just talking about M80 to Eddie about like some of the moves you guys have been making, everything from crypto to tough decisions you've been making around your Valorant team, even after having like a highly successful Valorant team, and now your CS2 team is just like have been taken off lately, and the support you've been showing us is lately, through DreamHack. I think that's been our association and getting to know you guys, because we've been at the same venue as the esports tournaments, but we're really excited to have you on, man.
Oh, look, I'm super excited to be here. It's nice to meet you, Eddie. And Andrew, I know that we connected at DreamHack. And I'm excited to talk about Kick and streaming and esports and why those two things should probably be a little bit closer aligned, right?
Awesome. Hey, Marco, I've just got some questions for you real quickly, then I'll hand it over to you. But just on that note, Andrew's kind of mentioning, hey, look, like things have changed up a little bit for you recently in esports. I guess what esports in general is, it's always changing, right? Especially lately, it's been mixing up a little bit. And as mentioned, there was a relatively tough decision recently to to kind of almost discontinue or kind of drop the M80 Valorant team? Like, you know, maybe talk a bit more through that and how that kind of happened and what things looking like on that front.
Yeah, so I mean, look, I mean, I've had long-standing relationship with Valorant, right? Ever since I got into esports, originally back in 2020, we got in with the impetus to build a Valorant team, right? Because Valorant was in beta back then, and we felt like, and I felt like it was probably going to be the biggest esport in the world, or one of them, very, very soon. So we started building a team pre-VCT, and I worked with a guy named Don Psycho, who's now my VP of esports at M80 as well, is currently competing at Fragadelphia and Counter-Strike actually himself this weekend. So the executives at M80 are not just like business guys, but they actually compete as well sometimes. But we built a team that went to top 5 in champions. Franchising came around. I was not around when those decisions got made, but we started building a team at M80 when we launched the organization back in the end of 2022. And look, I mean, it's not gonna lie, like it was tough, right? I mean, like 2 years in a row, back to back, we probably had the best. Easily had the best team, I think, in challengers, and went to the grand finals both years, both in Brazil and in Mexico. And unfortunately, like just didn't get it done in the grand finals either year. For whatever reason, whatever happens, it's like losing in the Super Bowl back to back. So it's definitely a tough pill to swallow for us. But we're still super passionate about Valorant. We haven't made any decisions. The existing roster, a lot of those guys were tier 1 players. They could all play in VCT already. I think the fact that you've seen our coach, assistant coach, multiple players on both of those rosters all move up into VCT and have a lot of success, like John QT and EU. Xander just got picked up, Koala. So, all these guys are really good players. We have a good relationship with a lot of players in that space. I think we understand how to pick talent in Valorant. So, our days in Valorant are not over, but those players from the most recent roster, their contracts expired if we did not get to VCT. So we allowed them all to explore opportunities, right? So, for us, I think we're just trying to think about, what does the future in Valorant look like for M80? Where is that going to take place? There's a lot of different ways that could happen. We have a good relationship with Riot. So, I would say for now, I would say stay tuned on that. And let's see where we end up. Right. But, yeah.
So basically what I'm hearing there is you guys were kind of like well and truly ahead of your time when it came to just even recognizing the potential of Valorant. Obviously, what with back to back, such close sort of near misses there. Kind of almost being veterans of the Valorant esport. Like what I'd more or less call it a break at the moment for the time being. You're leaving it be with the intention to probably come back better than ever.
Yeah, this is a brief break for us. But I think more likely than not, you can expect to see M80 back in Valorant in some way, shape, or form, I should say.
Andrew was also saying just before that M80, has set the record for the longest CS2 match. I believe you said 71 rounds, Andrew. Like
71 rounds, man.
What the hell happened there?
Yeah. Like we were playing, our Counter-Strike team, which is also, I mean, look, we got into Counter-Strike just over a year ago, and we said when we got into it, we were going to build a world-class team, and people thought we were crazy. And we said we were going to build it in North America, and people thought we were even fucking crazier. And we did it, right? So right now we've got a top 20 team in the world, ranked 18, really young team, very, very good players. Recently transferred one of our top players to G2, and one of the biggest transfers, I think, from North American to EU history, and replaced him with a 19-year-old rookie named Lake out of Oklahoma, who just stepped right in. And he had never even left the country before. We signed him, put him on a plane to Poland for boot camp, and a week later he was flying to Riyadh to compete on stage at Esports World Cup against the number 1 team in the world, right? So like he jumped right in with both feet, and he's been great, played really well at ESL Pro League, was a part of that match that you just referenced against Fnatic at Pro League, where we, it was like 3 hours, 3.5 hour map or something insane like that. It was 71 rounds. every single player at the spot was watching it. Everyone's watching it. I think we did something like 20 million hours watched of that particular match, right? Like on stream. Um, so I mean, that really gets to
Did you
like,
say 20 million hours?
I think it was something like 20 million hours watched, but from the concurrent
That's
audience.
insane. Guys, that's insane. Anyone in chat who's questioning the validity of esports, that's bonkers hours.
Yeah, I mean, like that's a really important point, and that's why, again, like I think when Andrew and you and I first started talking about esports and Kick and what the opportunities could be like there. I mean, like this is my fifth company. Um, I love, in the past, I've loved to try to build disruptive businesses and disruptive companies that kind of shake things up a little bit. I think that's a lot of what Kick has been doing since you guys, have launched recently. Is you've got this massive platform, a lot of engagement, a lot of things happening, good, bad, but it's disruptive, right? And it's about trying to figure out what's working really well and what you have to get better at. It's never easy, but it's great to have that type of work to do. And I mean, look, esports still drives the highest concurrent viewership in streaming. Every time you go on a streaming platform and there's a major Valorant match or a major CS major happening or Dota or you name it, those games always have the highest concurrent viewers for that moment. And when those matches are over, it drops back down. So esports still drives viewership very significantly, and it's a big part of building community and getting people excited about watching the matches and the games, and it's good for us, right? So it's definitely something that I think should be aligned with the future of Kick and what you guys are building over there, and that's why I wanted to come on and just talk more about it.
Yeah, I think the number alone you mentioned before about that. Yeah, there's absolutely zero doubt, right? The at the moment the live streaming space is heavily led by gaming, but gaming is led by esports. People who find gaming live streams typically find it through esports, right? And esports and live streaming have been intertwined now for over a decade. And a big reason we're here today is because of the rise of esports and the fact that it chose to broadcast events through streaming platforms. That is such a big reason why live streaming is at where it is today. So we're big believers on that. And on to my final question before I hand it over to you. Sort of as you mentioned, Kick is certainly kind of coming into the space, disrupting a bit, but at the same time, we are looking to understand better how to intertwine and get ourselves aligned in the esports market. How do you see Kick getting more involved with esports and succeeding and playing a part in the esports market?
Yeah, so I think two things. A couple things, right? So one, you want to incentivize, I think, esports leagues and teams to commit to Kick and stream on Kick and put their content, both their content creators, their content on Kick, and bring their audiences there, right? That's really important. And the most important thing, honestly, to esports organizations right now, every esports org out there right now is in a war, right? And the war is basically survival, right? Every esports team is trying to figure out what their business looks like. How do they make revenue? How do they sustain? How do they scale and grow? It's not an easy. If I just wanted to make money, there'd be 1,000 other businesses I'd be in besides esports, right? We're in this business because of the passion, right, and the competitive element of it, and and working with the players and the teams and hopefully winning trophies. But I think what's really important for Kick to understand, and for esports teams, people always said, when are esports teams going to get media rights, right? That's in sports, that's a huge revenue generator, right? The media rights that things like the NBA and the NFL have, and people said, well, in esports, the game publishers really control that, and the teams are never going to get media rights, which is traditional, which is true, right? Teams have never really gotten traditional media rights, but so that revenue source was kind of elusive for a while. But what we've seen over, I'd say, like the last, I don't know, like 12 to 24 months, it's really, really cool, is co-streaming has become the future of esports, right? The ability, and I think game publishers recognize also, hey, teams need to sustain. We're not going to give them the media rights, but we'll let them co-stream events. We'll let them co-stream matches and tournaments simultaneously with the match. And what you're seeing now is the bigger streamers and the bigger content creators are drawing more viewership than the actual streams from the broadcast, right? Which is huge because as an organization, yeah, guys like Jinxie, that's like
Shroud.
Shroud is a great example as well. Tarek with Sentinels, like when you're drawing more viewership from your own co-stream of of an event, you can sell against that, right? We can partner with sponsors, we can partner with broadcast partners, and that becomes our version of media rights in esports, right? So I think it's just like any other new industry, and esports is a new industry from a business perspective. Like it's about figuring out where you can create revenue opportunities and where you can make money. And for us, coast we want to have top co-streamers in every single esport that we're in, whether it's Counter-Strike, Rainbow Six Siege, Valorant, other titles that will probably get, Deadlock down the road next year. Obviously, will be a game that everybody will want to get into and is already drawing viewership numbers, and it's in private alpha, right? So, like, for us, it's about co-streaming, and that's where I think Kick comes in too. Is like, we can't do co-streaming without platforms like Kick, right? So yeah, I mean, I think that's a huge draw to bring teams over, is to give us an opportunity to be able to say, hey, we can co-stream a live match, tournament on Kick, and get the benefits, and maybe it's front page, maybe it's some type of boost for viewership, or putting it out to the audience. But there's a lot of opportunity there that to be had.
So just to quickly clarify here, sorry if I missed like a little bit there, but understand quickly. So from a co-streaming perspective, obviously, let's say Kick, for example, doesn't have the exact rights to say a specific esports event. However, we work with you directly and say, hold on a second, you're participating in this event. We want you to co-stream directly to Kick. Is that what you're kind of mentioning as being a potential way or an avenue in?
Yeah, you generally have to get permission to stream, but I think most games don't have exclusive deals anymore with streaming specific streaming platforms. Some might, but for us, uh, getting a big streamer to stream our Rainbow Six match that week or our Valorant match that week and draw that viewership, and then what we can do and how we can engage in that stream is key.
Yeah, no, awesome. I must say that's one of the most unique parts about esports right now, right? When you kind of look at like industries and obviously I think it's very quick for people to kind of look at esport and kind of compare it to traditional sport, right? But I think one of the most unique aspects of esports right now is the fact that there isn't really that kind of media rights sort of situation right now, and that you can lean on the individuals or the players to have their own point of view. They've got control over that distribution as well, which is, crazy unique. When you think of any other sport, like the players don't have the ability to start broadcasting and co-streaming the sport out to whoever they want. The organizations, they hold on to that so tightly, and ultimately that kind of, strangles the industry a bit to an extent. But, it does allow a huge opportunity to the teams and the organizations within the sport to really be able to utilize that as a monetization avenue, right? And it's super interesting. And I think, to your point, that probably more people are going to tune in to a really well executed co-streaming of esport, opposed to that main broadcast if done well, right? Like I think there's a huge future of that, especially with the landscape that we currently see right now, where there isn't major sort of participation in that broadcasting rights. It sounds super interesting, and it's just about finding that right model, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and real quick to add on to that, I think another thing that's pressing you guys in terms of those licensing rights are existing contracts that you guys have with other platforms that tend to really red tape you from going anywhere else, like fully, man. I mean, we can't avoid that.
Yeah, I don't do those deals, Andrew. Um, so like, but I can tell you this much, right? Like, watching your favorite sport, whether it's traditional sports or in our case, like esports, right? Like being able to watch and view, like I jump in the streams with all the fans and we engage with all the fans, and because I'm a fan too, right? That's why I got into esports, is I love these titles that we're in and we're passionate about them. But the ability to have a engaged, community driven like viewing experience, like watching your favorite team play with 10, 20 other thousand people in chat is super cool, right? It's actually something that, from what I'm hearing, a lot of traditional sports are trying to figure out, oh gosh, how can we get like the streaming experience now for the games? It's better than watching on, on your couch, on your TV, you're sitting in there with, a massive collection of fans from both teams, right? And the engagements. But then, I think the next step for that, though, for me, again, like I'm a startup guy, and I find that when companies have been around for a long time, founders have left, uh, they companies change to get stagnant, right? And they stop doing cool shit. They stop doing interesting, innovative stuff, and they just kind of stick with what has worked for the last, what, 5, 7, 10 years. And I think the cool thing about Kick that you guys have an opportunity to do, and again, I've never, worked with Kick or been on Kick, in like an official capacity, but what's cool about it, I think you guys definitely, it feels, at least from the outside, like you have that startup culture of trying to do cool things and trying to innovate and bring new opportunities to like streaming audiences. Like, the KCIP program is super cool. I know a lot of streamers that I know are excited about that. A lot of streamers that have worked for me in the past, like, Jared FPS, and Lucci and guys like that I've signed in the past in careers that are great streamers. I know they're all on Kick now for those types of reasons, right? Is everyone's trying to, a lot of people look at this as a business and like a career. And when you make it easier for it to be a career for people, you're going to draw more interest, right? So what I think it would be cool to see from Kick is, what are the different ways that we can make these, co-streamed esports experiences even better, even more exciting? Like, what are the ways that we can give organizations or game publishers ways to engage with their audience and fans, whether it's drops, whether it's giving away merchandise, all different types of things that you guys can test and try out to measure engagement, I think are, definitely things to do because you guys are still innovating, right? And you want to keep doing that right now. Like the landscape is still there for it. Um, yeah, I mean, I think that's really important.
Well, I think you touched on a really, really great point there, right? I think the biggest strength that Kick has as a platform, and especially in the conversation of esports, is that we're hungry. I think a lot of the time the other live stream platforms they've been around a while, a little bit more corporate. The startup mentality and that ambition and that culture. It's very hard to match it, right? You can't move as quickly, and the opportunities that arise off the back of being able to be agile and make decisions and actually push change and essentially find gaps in the market where you can find value and offer value to others subsequently. It's hard for larger companies to keep up with that. So, I think when we look towards esports, especially the state of esports right now, where, I personally think, other people are dropping the ball a bit and sleeping on it right now when there's a hell of a lot of opportunity. Like you said, it's still so big, right? That's certainly something we want to continue to do. And I think it's straight to your point, it's about incentivizing people in the right way, finding the right models, finding the right opportunities that work for everyone, and get the sort of these win-win situations that we can extrapolate on. And I think at this point we're really scratching the surface, but we just have so much opportunity to do much better and to really bring in so many more bigger players by doing exactly what you kind of mentioned there. And we talk a lot about this internally. We haven't made as many moves as we'd want to by now, but I think I think the playbook is there. I think we know what needs to be done. It's just about really taking those next steps.
Yeah, there's tremendous opportunity there, especially esports a couple of years ago. A lot of the leagues were a lot more closed and publisher driven. That model did not work well, so there's a shift back now, more grassroots, more open, which is something that I think gamers prefer. So there's lots of opportunities now for. I think even big publishers like Riot, Ubisoft, they're all doing third-party tournaments now and third-party events that pro teams will enter into because some of these games have like a 6 month, 3 month off season. These guys want to play and teams want them to play, right? So there's all kinds of opportunities to host events. And then, when it comes to iterating and trying new things, one of the cool parts about gaming as an audience and gamers in general as your audience is, they're not particular, right? They're not finicky. They just want cool shit. So they want things that make the viewing experience more engaging, more fun, they don't care about if things get broken or things don't work perfectly. They're used to everything being in beta anyway. I mean, pretty much, every major streamer doesn't even make their bed when they're streaming. Nobody cares, right? Like, years ago, like people would be worried about that, but like you got to take advantage of the audience that you have, right? And they just want cool stuff. And
I couldn't
uh,
agree with you more. Get
yeah.
get shoutcasters out of suits, man. Get like don't make it look like ESPN. In my opinion, that's the shit I grew up with, right?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, look, again, like I said, like most of these co-streamed events um are drawing more viewership than the actual broadcast, right? It's not uncommon when you watch Counter-Strike broadcasts and I jump onto a Brazilian channel for playing a Brazilian team, we've got like a couple 100,000 viewers in there watching the match with us, right? Like, um, that's the important thing too, is like for M80, we want to be in the biggest games in the world. So obviously Counter-Strike is an amazing esport globally. I love being a part of it. I love the fact that they play nonstop, year round, tournament to tournament to tournament. These guys our guys just are finishing up ECL championship tomorrow night. Then they get on a plane, they fly to Europe to play Thunder Pick. And after Thunder Pick, then they're going to go to China to play in the RMR. Like, and the other cool thing too, again, like, you just have my mind thinking now. One of the things I think Kick has done really, really well is a lot of the IRL stuff, right? Obviously, for better and worse, IRLs are a really compelling thing to watch, right, on stream. And getting streamers out to some of these IRL events in esports is a really, really cool opportunity. Because if you've never been to Katowice, or you've never been to Cologne, or you've never been to a VCT major event, or you've never been to a major on Rainbow Six Siege, you are missing out, because those events themselves are lit. I mean, they're just like super, super crazy, really fun. I mean, DreamHack was a fun one, but again, I'll invite you guys. Like SI, the Sixth Invitational for Siege this year is in Boston. That's my hometown. If you guys want to come down, like I'll host Kick for a Sixth Invitational, right? Like I'm telling you, these events live, and you get the fans and you feel it. I remember years ago, I had a startup back in like 2018. It was an esports content startup, right? And I was trying to get these two investors to write a check. And this is a really early stage company. And they didn't know anything about esports. They were basically like lawyers, basically. And I said, listen, there's an esports event in town. You guys should just come with me to it, like, and just get a vibe for what it's like, right? And just check it out. And it just so happened that I ended up taking the tickets for like $5. And I ended up taking these guys to the 2018 Counter-Strike major with FaZe and C9, which now is known as like one of probably the best live Counter-Strike, events of all time. I mean, the thing was like a Rocky match inside that arena. It was sold out, fans from Europe, North American chants. Like, it was insane. Those guys walked out of there and they literally wrote me a check in the parking lot, like that fast, right? So like,
what year was this?
2018.
2018, okay.
Yeah. So with esports, again, like a lot of it is like, getting out some big streamers, or even maybe they haven't done it before. Maybe like someone hasn't done an esport event before, but get them to come out to SI or to one of these majors and see what it's like in person and stream IRL from it. And then have the co-streaming of the matches from a team is like, that's a killer combo.
No, I think that the thing about IRL streamers, especially, well, one thing I've noticed at least is the vast majority didn't start off with IRL streaming. They start off gaming, just like everyone else. Like I think everyone, well, not everyone, the vast majority of people have stumbled across live streaming in whatever capacity through gaming initially, whether you're a streamer or a viewer, nonetheless. And I think everyone shares that common love for games, and professional gaming subsequently. So, trying to work alongside that to, not only bolster the esports community, but bolster the event itself could be awesome. I think, obviously first thing that comes to mind is kind of DreamHack and how that IRL streaming scene has really kind of, maybe helped that a little bit, and they've lent on that a little bit, kind of almost replicating that for the esports. Well, it could be great. And I know a bunch of names come to mind immediately, especially when it comes to sort of CS2 and you're more sort of well-known in esports. I think there'd be a lot of people interested. And I think it's about extending that invite. And again, I think it's all about how can Kick obviously Kick wants to lean in on the success of esports, right? We want to attract the viewers who enjoy watching professional esports, but at the same time, we got to give back to the space as well, right? We got to find a way to kind of add value to the space as well. And, whatever way that looks like, whether that's through collaboration and ensuring that, maybe we have a way to drive further traffic to the events, who knows, right? It's a two-way relationship in every regard. So, I think what you're mentioning there holds a lot of merit, and there's certainly a lot to lean on because, I do hopefully envision a future where people in the space, are synonymous with esports and Kick, right? I think that there is a world where that can come true. I think we can, pull that off. I think we're willing to get behind it and support it. And I think how that's going to be done is sure there's the obvious ways, but there's also the other ways in which we have to reinvent what that's going to look like, what that relationship's going to be like, and lean in on our strengths. So that's an awesome idea. I really love that. I think it'd give us an excuse to try to put together more of these events where the Kick community kind of gets together as well, which could be awesome. I'm just thinking the likes of the Lucci's and the Jared FPSs and the guys kind of representing Kick at these events and really leaning in with their communities and their subsequent audiences and helping to blow up the scene, but also give Kick the right voice and the right ambassadors at those events to truly show, hold on, this platform means business, and try to start shifting that narrative towards being like, hold on, Kick is known for some IRL streaming, Kick is known for a few big names and whatnot who've moved over, but Kick's also known for being a part of the esports industry, not just as a streaming platform, but a part of the culture. So I think that's great. There's something there for sure.
Yeah, just real quick to be cognizant of time, we got about 4 or 5 more minutes, but to double down on what Eddie said, that there's no reason why IRL can't support esports and esports can't support IRL. There's no reason why we can't take our strengths and combine the two. I mean, hell, like UFC, how many celebrities do you see out in the crowd, right? That come to these events? How many people who you see that have nothing to do with UFC that come and enjoy the event? I think creating that kind of environment, that kind of ecosystem where esports raids into IRL and IRL raids into esports, I think could be really healthy.
Yeah, I mean, super cool. I mean, I don't know if you knew Eddie, but one of my partners at M80 is Daniil Medvedev, who's one of the top men's tennis players in the world, right? And I met Daniil because he was a big Rainbow Six fan. He liked my team. They called me up. They said, "You want to come to the U.S. Open to meet Daniil?" So I flew down to the U.S. Open to meet Daniil. 2 weeks later, he was in the company, right? Because he's a passionate esports guy. But and that struck up conversation with other tennis players and other athletes and you name it. But celebrities and athletes, everybody games, everybody plays video games, right? And a lot of them play competitive games as well, whether it's Counter-Strike or Valorant or Call of Duty or whatever their game of choice is. So I definitely think getting more of them out to these events would be really, really cool. And again, like the energy from something like the Six Invitational really is like, honestly, like that's one of my favorite events to go to in Siege. I know we'll be there again this year in Boston. It's cool to have it up here as well. And yeah, I mean these are real events, and the IRL experience is a really it's a really critical part of esports. Not everyone gets to go to a live event. A lot of people watch them on stream only. But when you do get to go to a live event, it just drives home that feeling even more so, right? So definitely, I think that there's an opportunity around connecting IRL streaming, big esports events, and everything that's happening around that when those things take place.
If you had to recommend one event to attend in the year, what do you reckon? Where should we start? Where would you kind of say the the ground zero should be if we wanted to kind of like proof of concept this?
So if you ask me, like if there's one esports event every year that you can go to, which one would it be? I would say I am Katowice in Counter-Strike in Poland. I mean, there's nothing better than going to Poland in the dead of winter. You want to see real bleeping esports fans like filling that place up, waiting in line, chanting, like the competition. I mean, that place will give you goosebumps like from the second you walk in the door. So like I would say Katowice would be number one on my list. And it honestly, like, I mean, I love all the esports that we're in. It's very difficult to beat a high level Counter-Strike event for, for the environment. And that's such a mature esport in so many ways that it's great. But look, SI is amazing for Rainbow Six Siege. I mean, the SI they had in Brazil last year, like, you know, blew up every single number they had for streaming records and for attendance records. And I'm sure it'll do again this year when they, hopefully, when they come to Boston, different crowd. But and then Valorant is a very, Valorant does very unique, exotic locations, and it's a very, well produced event by Riot, and it's continuing to scale and grow. It doesn't have the history of a Counter Strike just yet, but it's an amazing esport. Obviously, we're passionate about Valorant as well, and we want to compete in that title at a really high level, and hopefully attend some of those bigger events again. The last Valorant big event that I attended back pre VCT was, we sent a team to Turkey to play in Champions, right? So some really cool stuff. Get your passport out, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna say I've been to Poland before, but you're kind of selling it already. Yeah, it sounds. You wouldn't have expected that.
We should be there. I think we'll be there. I think we'll be there next year. They're we got into. It's funny, Counter Strike. We got into Counter Strike last July, and it was the exact right time. We just came into it and we said, you know what? I think this is the right time to build a North American Counter Strike team. There's an opportunity in the space to capture some really good young talent, build a program, do it here in NA, and kind of hopefully revitalize North American Counter Strike. And we did it, and timing is perfect. They're shifting the rankings a little bit to reflect the Valorant rankings now for major. I think it's going to bode well for us. But I think we're getting invited and we're attending and competing at some of the biggest Counter-Strike events in the world now, and getting a lot of recognition, I think, which is great. And that's, again, like, on a side note, if you want an area that for kick, that'd be really cool to see some level of investment or activity in is, executives like myself and Jason Lake at Complexity. We're trying to rebuild North American Counter-Strike and revitalize it. So, like, some type of kick event, we could pull that off, and something along those lines. But we want to keep pushing North American Counter-Strike and the game here, and prove that we can play it just as well as they can in Europe and other regions.
Maybe that's what it's about. Maybe it's about just starting off nice and simple, just having people who are experts in the scene saying, hey guys, we need you to put together an event, slap the Kick name on it, slap the Kick branding on it, say buy Kick, and some sort of partnership to try to get the wheels in motion, put up a bit of prize money, and leave it to the professionals to make the event what it needs to be. It could be something there, right? We got if that's what you're aiming to do, I think maybe there's something there to try to sort of make a statement, not just about North American Counter-Strike, but about Kick as well, and now supporting endeavors for the esports industry. So maybe that's a conversation we've got to strike up.
Yeah, cool. We got to leave it there, guys. We got Sam Pepper waiting in the waiting room. But what I love is to leave it there to, we hear you, Marco, and you're going to be hearing from us soon, man, because what you just said there in the last 2 minutes makes a lot of sense. I think it makes sense with a lot of the moves that Kick tends to make, where we start out small and then the next thing we go big. And I think, like, our F1 activation is a testament to that, right? We started out real small, and we started out as a sponsor, and the next thing you know, Eddie and Bijan are in the F1 game. I think that gives us a lot of something to glom onto, and the CS2 and rebuilding in North America sounds very intriguing.
Yeah, no, for sure. Hey, look, anytime I can help, you know where I am, right? So just hit me up. And Eddie, maybe we'll go to Poland together. I'm down.
I tell you what, who knows? That might end up happening. We'll have to get the IRL streaming coming out too.
Bring your gloves, bring your hat, bring your jacket.
Bring a few jackets, I think, that time of year, right? And if Poland gets cold,
it's worth it, man. It's definitely worth it.
Hey, Marco, it was a pleasure meeting you, man. Really appreciate you coming on. And I give you our word where we're doing something in this space, and it's only a matter of time until we hit you up to try to get something working. So, really appreciate you coming on and speaking with us.
Yeah, it sounds good, man. Enjoy your weekend, guys.
See ya.
Thanks so much.
Bye.
Awesome. Give me 2 seconds, Andrew. Just need to quickly, before you move, Sam.
No sweat, man. No sweat. Big shout out to there we go. Big shout out to Marco for joining us, man. Hey, listen, chat. I know there's an IRL versus esports component, things of that nature, but the two environments need each other, man. Big time, more than you know. There's no reason why one effort can't support the other on Kick. I think that's the main thing, is looking at this and saying, how can we redefine the space for all categories to kind of help out with evolving live streaming in the long run. But listen, man, I got Sam Pepper on deck. I can bring him out in while we gas him up.
2 seconds.
Oh, no problem. Yeah, guys, Sam Pepper absolutely needs no introduction with this crew. I totally see you guys in chat going bonkers. For those of you who possibly do not know who Sam Pepper is, this guy's been around since like 2009, 2010. I think this guy started out on Big Brother. I don't know what variation of Big Brother that was. But I think he pissed off enough people on that show to start creating his own YouTube channel where he kind of blew up with a lot of his like social commentary, I would say, pranks. They got a lot of attention. I think he made a short stint on TikTok. Shit, he might even still be on TikTok. I don't know. The dude even worked for FaZe Clan for some short time. I'm gonna let him chime in on that. Sam Pepper and FaZe Clan would have loved to be a fly on that friggin' wall. And then the big thing is he's launching his Next Up show here on Kick. No doubt Sam Pepper has made a giant splash here on Kick, whether it's controversial or progressive or kind of helping shape the culture of Kick. But he's coming out with Next Up, where they're literally just trying to find the next big streamer. To kind of tell a personal story of how I was first introduced to, well, I've always known of Sam, but like Sam and Ice Poseidon kind of seemed to go side by side. And I remember there was a massive controversial thing that happened maybe like a year and a half ago. And there was a town hall where all the Kick streamers kind of came together to discuss it. And Sam Pepper and Ice Poseidon raided into this Twitter town hall and basically called out the entire Kick creator community to level up their content. It was an amazing confrontation that I was a part of. And both sides were making a lot of great points. But one thing that stuck with me was this idea from Sam Pepper and Ice Poseidon, like, whether you agree with their content or not, I think the call out to the Kick community, which was, hey, man, you got to level up your shit, kind of stuck with me because I try to take the good with the bad and the bad with the good. But that's been my personal exposure to Sam Pepper before I drag him in.
Hell yeah, let's bring Sam in. Sorry, I just had a slight technical issue there, but we're good to go. Hey,
No
Sam,
worries,
what are you
man.
doing?
Yo, what's up? How are you guys doing?
Hey, good man.
Good, man, good.
You've been waiting a whole hour. That's how much you love us.
I know. I have so much. I also have so much stuff for you guys. So we're gonna have to speed run it because I did like an hour stream beforehand and like went through all my details with my viewers to see what they wanted me to chime in on. So I've got all of that to go through, plus the stuff I want to talk about. Wait, my cam turned off when I joined. 1 second.
Yeah,
let me rejoin.
Right. Oh, there you are.
There we go.
Hey,
all right, no problem.
Hey,
Yeah.
Hey, Sam, real quick. I got like 3 real quick questions for you. I'll speed run through it and then I'll hand over to you. How's that sound?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right. What's up with the Next Up event? 50K prize. You know, you're talking about some creators, of course. We're going to fast track to KCIP. When's this starting? How do people get involved? Quickly plug it.
Yeah, the 24th of this month, the contest starts. You go to nextup.game. It's the website. Basically, any
what's
stream.
The website?
Nextup.game.
Nextup.game. Nextup.game.
Yeah. Yeah, you can go to my Twitter. I've got like a pinned tweet which has like all the details of the event. I even did tutorials on how to start IRL streaming, all the equipment you need, the simplest way to stream. I broke down everything because my main point of this event is to encourage new streamers to start streaming. We're looking for like the next big streamer or the next big, it's all around IRL. So the next big IRL streamer. Basically, each day I'm going to set you like I don't want to call it a challenge. It's more like a theme for your stream. It's like a concept of what I want that stream to involve. You go out and you stream, and you have to pick your favorite clip from that stream that's to do with that overall subject that I've set. You submit that kick clip directly into the app, and then we have a voting system where the viewers get to vote which clips they liked, which ones they didn't, and then a bunch go through to the next round and a bunch kick off. So it will whittle down to the top 10, and then it will go down to there to a head-on-head battle, and we'll see who's like the best IRL streamer on Kick.
Hey, just like quickly, like in terms of this is obviously relatively similar to like Ice Poseidon's Hunger Games, Scavenger Hunt, some of the stuff he's done. Is there some friendly competition going on here? Do you reckon you can outdo him? Do you think you can get more traction on this event than he does?
I mean, I don't know. Okay. My main concept for this event was encouraging new people to stream. It wasn't necessarily like, how can I get like the most viewers watching the event? It was like, how can I get that IRL section on Kick popping?
Dude,
because that's what we need.
Man.
We need
you just want the most viewers for yourself. Come on.
Bro, no, bro, I know if I try and compete with Ice, I'm going to lose.
I don't know,
if I
dude,
try
it's
and compete
looking
with
good.
Ice,
it's looking good, right?
Yeah,
like, hold on, who do you have lined up so far?
We have 491 contestants, Eddie.
What?
491. We've got Ice, Joel, Xena, Deepak, Asian Andy, Gary. Yeah.
If everyone averages 100 viewers for the whole thing, you've outdone Ice.
Oh yeah, on in terms of the category, yeah, the category could get more viewers than what Ice did. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I didn't think about that. I was just thinking about my personal stream. Yeah, as a whole, we could maybe take out Ice. But again, like I said, the main thing for me is I know what Kick needs to be like great is a really healthy IRL community. It's what Kick strives in. And I really want to grow that. So if we can get even 10 new really fucking good streamers out of this, like I'm gonna be happy.
Yeah. No, I love that, man. I love that. I think
real quick.
Sorry,
Matt. We just pinned nextup.game, the website that Sam is talking about it. We just pinned it there. If you guys want to go sign up over there, I got to tell you, I dove into it a little. You really do have every name that's out there on Kick who's IRL streaming. Eddie, the site looks slick. What I really like about what Sam's doing, just to double down, is all the tutorials that he's given so people can be successful in this, right? So Sam is really hand-holding people, and it looks like he's genuinely trying to find the next big streamer on Kick, man, just to double down on what he's saying. And because I've researched it, and it's an impressive website.
Andrew, you're forgetting something. Sam was the first. I was like the first person for Sam to pitch this to. I've been here since day one. I've been supporting this since the beginning. I love the idea. I love the idea. Well, maybe I wasn't the first person, but I must have been one of the first.
No, but also thank you, Eddie, for giving me the opportunity to come up with an event. Like when you reached out to me, like that made me so fucking happy because I love planning things. I love putting things together, and for you to give me the chance to create this and like the financial backing, that's really huge for me. And I'm putting everything into this. I've spent my own money on this as well. Like I want this to be really, really fucking good for Kick. Honestly.
Like you said, if we can get 100, even 10 new, really great IRL streamers who are going to add quality content to what is already a thriving section on Kick, then I reckon it's going to be a huge win. But I'll tell you what, I think you're selling yourself short when you say 10 people. I think there's going to be potentially in the hundreds of new streamers attracted to the platform if this is executed properly. I'm super pumped up for it. Obviously the guests or the people signed up thus far speak volumes in terms of what is to come. Just quickly, final question from me, Sam, before we move on. And again, guys, nextup.game is pinned at the top there. Check it out. If you are a streamer, if you're looking to get into live streaming, if you want to explore IRL live streaming, Go to nextup.game, check it out. There's a $50,000 prize pool up for grabs as well. There's a whole heap going on. Share it with your friends. Share it with streamers that you follow. Let them know. Ask them to participate. It's going to be a cool event. It's well organized. It's well executed. A lot of work's gone into the back end. I can vouch for that. Sam will be running it. He's running a fair game, an honest game. It's going to be a great event and a really great opportunity to blow up your streaming career. But sorry, on to my last question. You stream from many countries. You've done a lot of IRL streaming. What's the best country to stream from?
It's got to be India.
India.
Bro, it's got to be India. Yeah. Okay. Number one, they actually have a crazy internet infrastructure. You wouldn't think it, but the internet's insane there. Number two, it's just, you cannot escape the content. It's forced in your face every second. India is the craziest place ever. Every single moment, something bizarre's going on. And I just think it's one of them places where there's nowhere like it in the world. And it's very different for viewers to see.
Wait, is anyone IRL streaming in India right now on Kick?
We've got 2 Indians entering the event, Deepak and Slum G. Maybe a few more might enter as well.
Hell yeah! Big shout out to Deepak.
So yeah,
I think Seiko Mako's out there. I could be wrong, but I think she might be out there.
She's in Egypt right now. Last time I saw, but unless she moved.
Way off.
Yeah.
And IRL streamers have some of the craziest lifestyles. They're literally just traveling the world constantly. Like CEO Marco has been over probably 20 countries since she's come to Kick.
That girl is insane. That girl is. I can't believe the situation she puts herself in, and nothing seriously bad's happened to her. She doesn't give a fuck. She'll just flag down random dudes and get on the back of their bikes and just go wherever. And she puts herself in some crazy situations.
Shit. All right, well, guys, India. If you're looking to get into IRL streaming, Sam Pepper himself has mentioned India is the place to go. Book your tickets, get out there, turn the camera on, and start making content.
Yeah.
Sam, handing it over to you, man. If you wanna speed run through some questions.
Yeah, I mean, I have just a fucking list. I just want to quickly say that if there's any streamers who are watching right now who have entered the Next Up contest, I want to encourage you also to let your viewers know, this is something for them to have a chance to start streaming. And the more people we get here, the bigger we grow the community, the more it helps us on. If we can keep viewers on the platform and we can keep people in that IRL category, the moment someone goes offline, they move to the next stream, and that could be your stream. So the more people we get streaming on the platform, the better. So don't think of it as it's competition against yourself. You're already a streamer, you know what you're doing. Let's try and encourage some new people to come to the platform too. I've written down categories with everything here. I'm just gonna start off with banning. I think it's the hot topic and it's what everyone wants me to talk about. I don't understand Kick's optics anymore, and I don't understand what the goal is here. And I think my first question is, what does Kick want? What content does Kick want? What does Kick want to be known for? What does Kick want the outside perspective of the platform to be? Because I feel that's what you guys are panicking to fix, but I don't actually know what you want your the outside world to see you as.
I think at the end of the day, Kick is an entertainment platform, right? It's a form of social media. It's a form of entertainment, right? That is most important. I've said this before. I think over moderation will be the death of entertainment. It will be the death of live streaming, and that is certainly not where we want to go, right? But at the same time, under moderation or lack of moderation will also be the death of entertainment and the death of live streaming. It is a fine balance that we need to understand that has to exist. We've certainly gone on this roller coaster journey of understanding what happens when you have very loose community guidelines and then slowly realize what the implications are as you tighten those up. What Kick wants to be perceived as, I love this idea of Kick being kind of the HBO of live streaming. It's a really entertaining place where you can push the limits of what was traditionally perceived as not possible, right? But at the same point, even HBO has to have limits. You know, we can't support certain things. We can't support illegal activity. We don't want to support violence. We don't want to support hate speech. We don't want to support, you know, stuff that just makes the place look like a platform for degenerates, right? Again, there's a level of degeneracy which is okay, but at some point we got to say, hold on, that's just not cool, right? And that's not fair on the other streamers who are making legitimate content like yourself. You know, again, you push the boundaries, and you know how to push it to the point that's just enough, right? But you know, you do have a level of respect, and I want you to be able to walk around and say, I'm proud to be a Kick streamer. I am a Kick streamer. And people go, fuck yeah, that's awesome, right? You don't want to go out and say, I'm streaming on Kick, and you're like, fuck, that's associated with, you know, really bad things, and you can't proudly say that, right? So, you know, I think there's a balance, right? Like Kick needs to have rules. Rules are important. Moderation is important. Community guidelines are important. What we want to be perceived as is a place where entertainment can live, but, you know, we have to draw a line in those three areas that I mentioned before. You know, violence, illegal activities, and hate speech. That is just a place that does not belong on Kick, and that's where we live.
I think everyone agrees with that, and everyone knows that. But over the lifespan of Kick since I've been on it, which is pretty close to the beginning of it, it's definitely changed. Like the moderation has got way more intense, way more it's strict, way more people copping bans daily, and not for them things you said. So that kind of goes on to like this is I know what's going on. Obviously, like that Kick started, and it was kind of a little bit the Wild West, right? You guys didn't know exactly what you wanted, and it was kind of like it was kind of sick, to be honest with you. It was crazy, and everyone was talking about it. Like everyone was talking about it, and it was good. New people were joining all the time. Big contracts were being signed. All of these people that hadn't, you know. Eddie, like, I'm in this world. I've been in this world for 12 years. I've been with these influencers. You know, these influencers that have been goody two-shoes on all these other platforms because they're scared of being demonetized. They came to Kick. They were smoking weed. They were swearing. They were opening up about their lives. And I was like, holy shit, people are realizing what this is. This is a platform where, like, you can actually be yourself. You can express yourself, and you've not got to be scared of being penalized for that. And I was like, this is it. This is the platform. And then gradually, what happened, time went on, some people fucked up, and some big tweets went out, some big press went out, and then Kick sees them big things, and Eddie, you're sinking all this fucking money into this platform, I get it, and you're like, I don't want to be known as this platform which everyone's talking shit about online. So then the moderation increases to like fix that image online about Kick. But like, my real question is for you, is Kick actually succeeding more now you've placed them further restrictions, or has the numbers gone down? Because from what I see, like, IRL isn't what it was like at the beginning, and I think that you're catering to the wrong people rather than catering to like the people who are watching and the people who are streaming. You're catering to people who are like posting nonsense on Twitter, who are fucking making Dexter articles. Who the fuck cares? Like, let's make this platform pop. Let's make it sick. Let's make it sick for the viewers. Let's make it sick for the streamers. But obviously the racism and that fucking crazy shit, that goes without saying. But you know, do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I listen, man. I get exactly where you're coming from, right? And I think you're completely right. Where so many people who, whether they're on YouTube, whether they're on Twitch, whether they're on any social media platform, that they're forced to be somebody they're not, right? They're kind of, I like the analogy, you kind of tread on eggshells. You know, everything you say, everything you do, you know, you're under a scrutiny, right? You know, what you mentioned before, people coming over the Kick, and you mentioned they were smoking weed, they were swearing, they were doing this, they're doing that. That's allowed, man. That's always been allowed. No one gets penalized for that. People get banned for doing crazy shit and endangering lives and all that kind of stuff. Again, maybe use better examples, right? But at the end of the day, I don't think there's ever a situation where a ban hasn't kind of been warranted. At the same time, it comes back to ensuring that you just stick within very basic guidelines. We're not asking people to be someone they're not, right? We're not demonetizing people for being who they are, or you know, saying one single wrong thing. We're not operating on that level at all. And I think it's a massive misconception. At the end of the day, if people are copping bans, it usually is for a very good reason. And to your point before, where is Kick? Kick is bigger than ever right now. It is growing week on week. It has had the most successful October ever. We've been averaging 400,000 concurrent viewers throughout the whole of October. That's up, almost 100% year on year. Again, I understand sometimes it's easy to look at the past with like kind of rose-colored glasses, but Kick is growing and we're doing some really great things. And at the same time, we're not forgetting how this place started, man. We're not forgetting that at all.
Yeah.
The IRL streaming, huh?
I threw up the chart, the watch stream. If you want to throw it up to answer Sam Pepper's question if Kick is dying. Real quick, I think going back to Eddie's point, Sam, like you got to get more specific in your examples, man. Like you can't just
I can list like 3 bands that just happened.
Please do.
So, like for example, West Side.
The other thing is that the other thing I want to mention is that if
Andrew, am I meant to show your screen here, or what are you showing?
Oh shit!
You gotta change this thing. The screen.
My bad. Yeah. If just to use you an example, man, like if we weren't to grow with you, right? Like in what it is that you were trying to do, like if we were to follow like Twitch's ban policy, Sam, we wouldn't be having this interview right now, man.
No, of course.
We've grown with you. So to say that we are completely off the rails on our bans, I don't know.
For example, like this West Side Mike guy, me and him were doing a Discord call the other day, and we're going back and forth making content. And he like said at one point, like, "Oh, I'd curb stomp you if I ever saw you." And it was like we were just making content back and forwards. I clearly wasn't affected by it. I didn't mention it. I didn't say you can't say that. I didn't act upset. And we continued talking for another hour afterwards. Then he gets banned for that. Then Nick White goes live with him, and then he gets banned just for streaming with him. And how does that make sense? If I'm not affected by it, I'm not upset. No one from Kick reached out to me saying, like, are you okay with that? Is that a sensitive subject for you? Like, did you feel... Do you know what I'm saying? That's when the banning... And that's just one example. There's tons of examples. Even a DBR example, which like DBR went off and caused tons of bad press for Kick. But are we banning people for bad press, or are we banning people for?
Can I jump in there for 1 second? I think what you mentioned before, right? I think sometimes figure of speech is complicated, right? Like it depends on the context. Like it is really quite difficult. At the end of the day, if someone says like I'm going to curb stomp you, you look at that and you're like, okay, fuck, that guy means business, right? And it's quite difficult for the moderation team to understand. From what I understand, that would have been a pretty small ban. How long was the ban for?
I mean, I don't know, a couple of days, but still, for me, it doesn't.
Did he appeal it? Did he appeal it?
I don't know. The guy's pretty.
If he appealed it, he would have got unbanned. I'm telling you right now, he didn't fucking appeal the ban. If he went to the moderation team and said, "Hey, by the way, X, Y, and Z happened. You made a mistake," he would have been unbanned. And then Nick White would have never got banned either. But DBR, on the other hand, was out there fucking sexually assaulting people. And what do you fucking expect? The guy nearly got arrested. And you're going to stick up him? Listen, I'm all for content, but you can't break the fucking law, man.
But the guy said multiple times it was fine and I don't care about it.
Oh, it doesn't matter. He got reported. Listen, here's the other thing. DBR came into my chat the other day and we had a long chat. DBR came into my chat, all right?
Yeah.
50% of the shit that he did was bannable. Sexual assaulting someone, kissing them on the neck without asking, biting them on the nipple without asking. The other 50%, I totally agree with. He was asking the right questions to the wrong people. He was asking Miskiv about sexual assault.
I was going to say, DBR was pushing the limits in all regards. And I tell you what, props to him on a lot of what he did. Like, he did a fucking great job, but a lot of what he did is fucked up too. Like, that guy's got to learn. Hey, did I not mention to him like a week before that happened, Sam? I was like, yo, Sam, get DBR under control. The guy's going to get in trouble. I said, get him under control. And what'd you do? You didn't get him under control.
No, bro, I told him, but then like, yeah, you know the not, you know what it is. It's everyone wants to be the best on the platform, and everyone loves it when the chat's going funny. That's why like everyone shits on me in people's chats. Like people when they stream, they shit on me because it's funny because they know the chat's gonna go fast. And it's the same with content. Like people get pushed to limits because of fucking chat, and they need to learn quick. Like these new, and he learned. You know, he learned big time.
He
from
better
that.
fucking learn, because next time he gets banned, it's fucking permanent. Because you got to be careful, man. Like at the end of the day, like we want people to make great content. We want them to be amazing streamers, but they just need to draw the line. Help them understand that. Help them understand that. Because you get it.
Yeah,
You get it.
yeah.
Like Sam, you do IRL streaming all the time. Would you go licking people's nipples and kissing them on the cheek without consent? Like
I've actually never got banned on Kick in my whole time of streaming. Only one time I got banned. It was for someone else on my stream. So like, I mean, yeah, I get it. But also I get called non-temp because of it. Like, it's so annoying. Like,
So which is the Sam? It
dude,
sounds
what are
like
you talking? You only get called
willing to have
non-temp when you sit in this bloody warehouse and do nothing for hours on end. Of course you're gonna get called
is
non-temp.
like
How can you blame
major,
Kick for that?
Your chat,
your chat,
your
Dude,
chat
go
is
outside
running,
and do
man.
something
Your
if you want to
chat
get
is
called
running.
non-10.
I just went to
Do you
Egypt
understand
for
how
a
many
month
people
and
have to
nearly
deal with
died.
going KCIP's killed Kick, get Sam to go outside? Like, man, fuck me. Like, non-10 is you sitting there doing nothing. That ain't
Bro,
my
I
fault.
spent a
Don't
month
turn this
in
on me.
Egypt and nearly died. I nearly died for the content.
What the fuck's sake, man?
No, but really, like you know, there are like a lot of bands, even if they're short. It just makes people scared. And this was like to go on to another one of my point is like now because of KCIP and everyone like losing like that KCIP being affected, them losing KCIP because of bans, it's scaring people. And now like people are like more like that they are more inclined to be like desktop streamers and really stream within very small boundaries because they're scared of like things getting them banned and it affecting their money.
Man, I think sorry. Back to being serious. I think we're kind of joking around there for a bit, right? But like, you know, I think
Yeah,
at the
that's
end of the day, Kick is ran by humans, right? We're real people, and you're always going to get a response. Like, I think at the end of the day, if there's a misconception and you mean well, you're not going to find yourself permanently banned. I think other platforms, you're literally playing roulette every time you walk outside. You're literally playing roulette every time you do anything that like isn't 100% kosher content, right? And you know that's not what Kick's about. I think if people say that, they're being unfair. Like at the end of the day, we've had to tighten up our moderation. There's no two ways about it. Have we tightened it up too far? I don't think so. I think at the moment, Kick still is allowing people to create the best content on the internet by a long shot. There is nowhere else on the internet where you have the ability to create entertaining content with the same guardrails in place, which allow you to really step outside what other platforms would even consider a comfort zone. And we're going to stay like that. We're going to continue supporting it. But at the same time, we have had to adapt to a landscape which is evolving. And, you know, I like to think it's in your best interest as well. I want, again, this comes back to the simple fact, Sam, that I want you to be able to walk around any country in the world and say, I am a Kick streamer, and people to go, fuck yeah, that's sick. And I don't want you to be say you're a Kick streamer and people to associate it with all the wrong things. You know, we have to be careful of the brand. You know, Kick is a brand, it's a community, and we have to sometimes, you know, continue to change that. And that's my mission. That's my mission. That's what I want Kick to be.
It's so hard. I know it's hard for you. It's easy for me to come here and say shit because I know it's hard for you guys. Like I know it's like a double-sided blade, and I do fight your guys' side with my community too, and I do explain to them why like people get banned for so long and like where like you don't want your platform to be known for this like bad shit. Yeah, it's
Sam, it's not bad shit. It's illegal shit. It's illegal shit. Like look at the stuff that we really perma-ban for. If you're talking to a minor aggressively,
no, I'm not talking about perma-bans. All the perma-bans seem justified. Like I don't think there's anyone that's been perma-banned that hasn't justified being perma-banned. I'm just talking about these
an appeal turns into a couple hours, to Eddie's point.
Yeah.
And what happens is when someone gets banned for like a day or two, what they do is they take to social media, they hop up on their cross, and they cry and bitch about it, as opposed to emailing support and or appeals and say, hey man, here's what I did. This is what happened. Having a reasonable conversation, and our moderation team highly drastically reducing the ban. That's what I would advise.
Hey, Sam, on the top of moderation, just so we can leave this one at an end, like, can I give you a promise? This is a promise I say internally all the time, right? We will always be on the side of the creator, right? We want to be on the side of the creator. We always want to allow people to do as much as possible, make as much content as possible. We don't want to suppress content. We don't want to, introduce moderation at the cost of entertainment, at the cost of people's freedom to make the best content. We are always going to fight for that as hard as we possibly can. And I will give you my word, we will fight as hard as possible to ensure that will always remain the case. But at the same time, we will need to ensure, as Andrew said, illegal activity and situations that fall under those certain areas, it has to be dealt with. It really does. And I think, as somebody like yourself who's never been banned, please help people understand where that line is. If that's all I can ask is just, help people understand where to draw the line, because it's in everyone's best interest. We want Kick to be successful. We want Kick to be known as a great platform with great entertainment, and we just have to be careful of the brand. But my promise to you is we are not going to end up at the same levels as other platforms that you're talking about. That will never happen. That will never happen.
Okay. Should I move through my points? I really fuck with that, and I don't think there's anything more that the chat can ask for than that. Like that. That's exactly what it needs to be. And I'm gonna be messaging you when someone gets banned, and I'm like, can we help them out here? You always put a fair side on it. So, on that point, why don't I kind of follow like Kick on Twitter and socials, but why don't they get their own clippers, like a clipping like good moments of Kick? This was a note I had down, that a clipping good moments of Kick. And pushing that, because like clips are such a huge thing on Twitter. Like Kick should be utilizing that and pushing like the good content, or whatever Kick wants to be known for. There's no harm in that. There's so many clippers in the community. You should be churning out clips on the Twitter.
Yeah, that's an awesome idea, actually. I don't know why we haven't done that, to be honest. Because I know, like, for example, like, a lot of those YouTube channels that take all like the really good clips of Kick and kind of collate them, and there's like so much positivity around that, and they're really good clips as well. I think the only ones that end up going viral are the ones that, those media websites or whatever pick up and attach like a crazy title to that ends up getting clickbait. But maybe there's a world to kind of push a lot of the positivity, right? Because there's some really cool stuff.
There's funny.
That doesn't go around.
There's funny and dumb and random and unpredictable stuff that goes viral as well. It's not just DJ shit,
The thing is, what I think as well about that, it's not about promoting Kick so much. I like to look at this more as like, how do we promote like the broader IRL streaming section, right? We were speaking about esports just before you came on, and esports and gaming is really important to us. I'm never going to deny that. But IRL is where we're seeing so much growth, and we truly believe that is something that can continue to grow. And it doesn't matter whether it's Twitch or YouTube or anywhere, just as long as IRL streaming in general is growing, that's what we want to see. Like, how can we help promote IRL streaming? Because IRL streaming has this stigma of like being kind of like the Wild West, full of like crazy stuff. But the reality is like 99% of it is, really wholesome moments, just people having a good time interacting with people. So yeah, I don't know. I think there's some way that we can help promote the IRL scene in general.
Well, yeah, with IRL in general though, the thing is that's kind of life. Like life is, got crazy moments and not crazy moments. I think with live streaming, you're streaming 8 to 12 hours a day. You're gonna get them moments happening, drama, fights, and stuff like this, especially in such a like intense, like in an intense situations with lots of big personalities and stuff. It's kind of just always gonna happen. It happens even on Twitch. What about the front page? Like, I don't see like too many IRL streamers on there. Is it because IRL's like kind of risky to put on the front page, or what?
There's a whole IRL category that's recommended.
Like on the carousel, like that section that I'm on about. It's just when I come on, I never really, and personally, I just never see it. It might just be my bad timing or whatever. Like, it's just it seems a little bit, I guess it's like the stuff I see there always seems kind of like it's a little bit like, when I
on
look
the
at the people,
carousel
I'm like,
right
okay,
now,
this
I see
person's
Relic, Kick, Murder Mystery at Creepy Hollow. Relic is right now IRL streaming on homepage. He's on the
Relic's
carousel.
a massive IRL streamer. Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
there's someone there right
this
now.
one
They're,
here,
they're like
third
literally
across.
right under like, I think on the homepage, you scroll down a bit, there's IRL is like section 3 on the homepage.
Yeah, it's got
you
its
got
own
Shaco
category.
Marco there, you got Razzo there, you got Lone Fan Wolf Club, James, Tomo.
How's that work? Is that chosen, these people, or are they just like the most viewed in the IRL category?
At the moment, the recommended
Like, for
system
example-
is heavily based upon featuring. So yeah, there is that was something we were just discussing before in terms of like upcoming features is we really want to work on our recommendation engine. At the moment, like, you know, there's no two ways about it. Our recommendation engine sucks. It needs a lot of work. So we're working on fixing that up. At the moment, I'll be honest, like, yeah, people who have been banned previously or you know, deemed kind of higher risk are probably not going to be on the homepage for that very reason. You know, it just is how the platform works. But again, we want to fix that up and make sure that recommended is something which, you know, is giving people the most entertaining content related to that individual who is viewing the website.
Yeah, to give you an example, Sam, like, look, we used to feature Crazy Ton a lot, right? But Crazy Ton is going through his strip club arc, right? So any strip club that this guy can get into, he hops in there, right? So I had a conversation with him about this. I'm like, hey, man, we love featuring you. You have some great stuff, but we can't feature the front page with straight up strip clubs happening, right? So like people like Shaco Mako, you know, Alexis, Relic, Chicken Andy, like, you know, Joel, like there's phases where we
I
can
was just
feature
about to
them.
say Joel's streaming right now, doing his event. He's got like all these streamers. He's put a lot of money into it, and he's I didn't see him on there. Like, just curious, like why would something like that not hit that?
We'll rotate Joel, but can he dominate the entire front page? No one category can dominate the front page all the time. That's why Relic's up in there right now, right? So at any given time, and then like I said, IRL, apart from art and all the gaming categories, like
how does Joel have 10,000 viewers? 10,000.
I mean,
whole nother topic.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we can move away from that. It's just something people wanted to bring up. Yeah. Is Kick still want IRL streamers? Is that like still like the main point of Kick? Like, I know you want all streamers, but like at the beginning, it was like you guys really want to push the IRL category. Is that still like one of the main focuses of Kick?
I think the biggest opportunity for Kick right now lies in IRL, right? I think like previously, like IRL had so much opportunity to continue growing, but I felt like it kept getting cut off, right? Like just as it started taking off, just as people started doing really cool stuff, they get like banned, they got like cut off, like, and again, I think if it's given the full opportunity to continue to grow and continue to prosper and continue to get support, like, you know, whether that's with your event or ICE's events or anyone else's events, like I think the real potential of live streaming could be in IRL. And that's what Kick's all about. It's about innovation, right? It's about being open and embracing innovation in the space. And I don't think anyone has truly allowed for IRL streaming to reach its full potential. And that's where Kick has an opportunity to try and do that. And that's exactly what we're backing. And, you know, we're seeing some ups and we're seeing some downs with it. But the IRL streaming section, contrary to what you said, I think it's in a healthier state than it's ever been. You know, IRL streaming is, you know, obviously, you know, Neon's been doing his like 15-day thing before he got banned today, I think. And that's been pretty big. And then there was, you know, Fuzi's been doing a heap of IRL stuff recently. Aiden's been out doing IRL. You know, obviously there's that like old school community of people doing IRL, but there's so many new people joining IRL, which I know you probably don't pay as much attention to those guys as some of the OGs, but like the IRL section, it's popping, it's doing really good, and some really great moments are you know, coming of it. So yeah, honestly, if we look at streaming like 10 years from now, You know, I think that, like, you know, it'll be 50% gaming and 50% IRL. You know, I think right now, if you look at the whole streaming section, I think it's like 10% IRL or 5% IRL, like 95% gaming. Like that's like, you know, that's kind of like where it's at, gaming and just chatting rather. But I think IRL will be 50-50 down the line. So, you know, we're investing in that. You know, right now it's nowhere close to that, but you know, the opportunities, if you think about it, there's just so much more opportunity with IRL streaming. The possibilities are literally endless.
And real quick to piggyback on that, I'm about to fly out of here and I'm going to be swinging by Relic's haunted house where he's doing an IRL stream. I gotta make a pit stop in Houston, but I'm swinging by an IRL activation. I'm not going to an esports event. I'm not going to some other event. Like I'm going strictly to an IRL event to back and support those efforts.
Maybe you can be like the Twitch CEO and you can start IRLing yourself.
Oh, don't do that.
You can enter
Hey,
next
Sam,
up.
with all due respect,
you can
go
enter
fuck
next
yourself.
up.
With all due respect.
You're gonna show them how it's
what
done.
What did you say?
You're gonna show them? Yeah. He should enter next up. He told me to fuck myself. Bro, he told me to fuck myself.
After you told me to be Dan Clancy. After you told me to be Dan Clancy.
Hey, come on, Dan Clancy's a good guy. I fuck with Dan Clancy. I think is he? What did Dan Clancy do wrong?
No, I do actually think it's kind of badass that he goes out there and IRL streams as the CEO of Twitch. Like that could lead to so many problems. And it does actually.
I actually think. Listen, maybe we haven't discussed this, but I think Dad's doing a great job as Twitch CEO. He's like fully getting behind shit. Like he's embracing the community. Like man, big shout out to Dad. And he's like a fucking crazy smart dude. You know that guy did like he was involved in AI back in like 1980. Like this guy is fucking like a genius, and he's out there just like chilling with streamers, talking about like moderation. Like the guy's a fucking genius, yet he's just like chilling out with like fucking Spanish live stream. Anyway, I think he's a legend. Big shout out.
I just kind of hate hired CEOs, to be honest with you. Like the reason why like I fuck with Kick and I fuck with you is because like you actually have a deep reason to make sure Kick exists. Like you're the owner and like the boss, you know. And I think that just makes a deeper connection with the platform than being a CEO. And like I've been around so many of these fucking companies, like even working for FaZe, and I just see this like fake energy that these CEOs put together for like you know, for their job and whatever, and you know, they love everything and they're fully backed, but then the moment they leave that platform and they go to the next one, they're like saying the same shit about them. I don't know, but I like, you know, it's better when your money's where your mouth is, you know, like you're invested in this, so I think you have like a deeper personal connection to the platform than someone who's just hired.
Yeah, I must say, taking on the job as whatever Kick CEO is like the worst paying job ever. Fucking hell. I think if in terms of like return on investment, I think it's like negative the most amount of fucking money you could ever put in. It kind of sucks if you break it down as like an hourly wage. Fucking having to deal with like people like you like bitching about like, why did DBI 777 get banned? I'm like, Sam Pepper, he got banned for sexually assaulting someone, and then I'm like, how much am I getting paid per hour? Like negative fucking 50,000. No, anyway.
Why are all my friends getting banned?
Yeah. The KCIP thing, I see, you know, the KCIP thing's such a weird thing because everyone bitches about KCIP, and then I think to myself, oh, it's kind of nice that Kick's just giving people free money when no other platforms are doing this anyway. But that's the way it's going to be. Do you think that like a back end that when they get their payout, there's like some sort of like justification to like why the payout is this today, or something a bit more vocal about like how people are getting paid or why they're getting paid? Because like people have been comparing side by side like chat speed and viewership, and then like double for this person and half for this person, and all of this like inconsistencies in the KCIP in general. Like is it better to be like transparent with like you did this today and that's why you got less money? I don't know.
Yeah, to answer that question, it's the same reason why you've been on YouTube, right, Sam? And you can pull up two different accounts and go, hold on a second, I got 20 million views on this video. However, the guy who got 10,000 views got paid more in ad revenue, right? And it's because not all views are equal. That's the bottom line. Not all views are equal, right? There's a lot of ways to manipulate the system. Like again, if we start giving you a full breakdown of like, okay, this is why you got paid less, this is why you got paid more, then people will just game the system. It's a game of cat and mouse. We have to basically the way the KCIP works right now is we've updated it so like kind of every 3 to 4 days we kind of almost update the formulas kind of thing. Without getting into specifics, it's kind of always updating to avoid people figuring out how it exactly works to ensure that it's the most fair system it can possibly be. That's kind of the answer to your question. So there's a reason why.
So basically just stream, make good content and forget about like trying to figure out the KCIP system and just take the money when you get it.
If you're streaming just for the sake of maximizing your KCIP revenue, you're doing it wrong. Like stream for the sake of making the best content and then look at your KCIP at the end of the week and go, wow, that was pretty cool at Kick. They just sent me free money.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. All right, I like it. What do you want from us? Like what is your ideal world? Like what is your ideal mixture from us? Like what do you really want from us as streamers?
To do stuff that's never been done before in the live streaming space, right? Push it to the new limits. Try to identify what can be done in this space. You know, I am always saying this time and time again. I do believe that the like full potential of live streaming is yet to be realized, and that comes down to the creators to be able to pull that off, right? That really comes down to the creators to be able to pull it off. We're here to support you guys in any way we can. We want to be able to help promote the best content. At the end of the day, the platform can just build some technology around the video player. It can add channel points. It can add this. It can add that. It can make the app a little bit smoother. But the platform can't really do anything. It's up to the streamers to be the ones to make the incredible content. And that's our job, to be here to support you guys, to promote it, to be able to help you guys achieve that, right? You know, I think if something's already been done 100 times before, is it going to change live streaming? No. The only way Kick ends up coming out on top is by having live streamers who change the game and having us fully support you guys as you rise to the top. So, you know, as you think about like, hold on a second, what am I doing today? Is it something that's been done before? Yeah, then I don't know. That's not going to change the game, right? Like I think realistically for Kick to succeed, we need streamers to change the game, to completely disrupt the hierarchy, to do stuff that's never been done before, and to really push the boundaries of what live streaming can be. You know, that's an ideal world, but don't get me wrong. We still need people playing Call of Duty. We still want people playing Valorant. We still want people to be enjoying themselves, just doing just chatting streams, engaging with the audiences. You know, that's incredibly important. But I think for Kick to really start to push the hierarchy of social media platforms, we need to see content that's never been done before. We need Kick to be seen in a light that proves that it's able to innovate and to allow for live streaming to be something that it's never been seen as before. So that's what a perfect world would look like. And I think, you know, for example, what you're doing with Next Up Game is kind of exactly that. Like it really is. So, you know, this is the kind of stuff we want to get behind, you know, same with, you know, even talking about what Ice Poseidon is doing with Hunger Games and, you know, even to the extent what other people are doing in terms of, you know, running events, whether that's Underground Uprise or other variations. That's the kind of stuff we want to see, you know, really engaging with the communities, engaging with the broader Kick community. You know, live streaming is all about community, right? Not just a community within like individuals' chats, but the broader community of the platform, right? So anything that can pull people together, you know, push live streaming forward as a whole, that's what we want to see. That's what I want to see, at least. And, you know, at the same time, without breaking the community guidelines and all that good shit. So
maybe like me and you, Eddie, going to space on the balloon.
Hey, real quick, Eddie, I gotta hop. I got some IRL stuff going here. But I hate to break out of this conversation because it's been amazing. But Sam, thank you for hearing me out, and it's awesome being here. But Eddie, I'll hit you up when I got this figured out, man. I apologize.
All good, man. All good. You take care. See you, Andrew.
Hope things are good.
Yeah.
Bye.
We're in the space.
Who is that guy?
It's Andrew.
No, the like what's his role in Kick, and like where did he come from? Sorry, like I don't know.
So Andrew leads a lot of the Kick moderation team, the feature team. He leads a lot of the DreamHack events, strategic partnerships. A lot of
Holy
stuff.
shit.
He's across a lot of things. I think Andrew was like employee number 2 for Kick, so he's been around since
no
like
way.
the beginning. Yeah.
And what's his like what kind of stuff was he working on before this?
Andrew worked at Amazon. He's
Sick.
working on Twitch something. I can't remember exactly.
He seems really passionate. Like he seems so passionate about it.
Yeah, no, he loves live streaming. Like I'm gonna go, like normally I don't reply to cold emails. Like this guy like cold emailed me when we first launched launched Kick. And I'm normally like fuck, like I just delete cold emails. But like he sent like something that was like pretty sick. I was like, this guy gets it. Like he knows what's going on. I got a lot of respect for Andrew. He's he means good. He wants to see this, he wants to see this project through, and he wants to see Kick come out on top, So, I think, everything he says comes from a really great place, and I can personally vouch for that.
Have you guys like stopped signing like contracts and stuff for like new streamers, or what's the move with that? Because it was so quick at the beginning. Like every week there was like a new person coming over, and I don't know, like, well, I don't know if that's changed or I just don't notice it, or.
Yeah, no, I think, we learn a lot of stuff in the first 2 years of Kick, right? Well, it's coming up to 2 years now. We thought that you could kind of like buy the industry, which is wrong. You can't do that. You can't just give people big contracts and assume that they're going to come on over and it's going to be all rosy. It's not a sprint. It truly is a marathon, right? And I think the right way to go about this is not investing in people who have built an audience on another platform and just trying to like cannibalize each other and bring them over. It's about investing in the people who have, built a Kick community and then continuing to support them on their journey forward after they've proven that they've really wanted to get engaged with the community. That's where our money's going now. Sure, it's not as quick as going like, here's money, bringing everyone over, making headlines. But in the long term, it's what's more sustainable. It's what will allow us to actually bring on and support people who truly believe in the platform. And it's far better money spent. So, the big signings and stuff, cool. They make for a good headline. They make for a great story. But the reality is, if we put that same money that we spent on those big signings at the beginning just into, more people, like yourself even, right? Like, again, we would be in a much better position is my theory. But that takes time to identify the right people. So, if anyone's out there watching this and they're streaming on another platform and they're looking to get involved in the Kick, Kick will invest into you after you prove that you're here to stay and you're here to stick with us. And we want to, be able to give back. That's what KCIP is all about. KCIP is kind of the scalable variation of where we can, instead of invest tens, if not hundreds of millions of dollars into these large contracts, how about we go ahead and just like, give a fair amount to a whole bunch of people instead? And it's working out to be really, really amazing. Andrew pulled up that graph before to showing the growth of Kick. The growth of Kick is substantial. Obviously, sometimes it feels like a few people are leaving, but every month there's substantial growth year on year. It's over 100%. And, that's on the back of just giving streamers what they're worth. I think people have forgotten what their worth is online. YouTube and Twitch and stuff have started to, change the narrative that live streaming and content creation is something in which you have to fend for yourself and you need to find your own brand sponsorships and all this kind of stuff. I don't believe in that. I think live streaming and your content is worth way more than you think. And we will continue to pay people big and small for their content. We believe that to be long-term feasible.
You know what's strange? I feel like the most streamers came over to Kick without being paid who already had a following somewhere else when Fuzi was gone in his first rampage. Do you think that's just because they were like discovering IRL through Fuzi and being like, what the fuck is this? I want to try it. And I feel like we had an influx. Really though, I feel like we had an influx of people come over right when Fuzi had his first like crazy manic episode.
Yeah, that was big. I think IRL was putting in the spotlight like in a completely different light for the first time. I think people saw Fuzi go from like, whether it was a few thousand concurrents all the way up to over 50,000 in what was probably some of the most intense, full-on hours of live streaming to ever be recorded, right? And that caught not even like, that caught mainstream attention. I think people were like, hold on a second, I want to get involved in this. I think people quickly realized that IRL streaming is a lot harder than it seemed, and naturally a few people dipped off, and that's normal though. But the good thing is, I even from that time period, I think you look back and there's probably still 50 to 100 people who joined up around that time out of the thousands who are still actively live streaming. It's all about capturing that momentum and hoping that a good chunk stick around. Just like you said, when it comes up to next up game, and when you start that, even if 10 people stick around, that'll be a huge win, right? Always there's going to be peaks and troughs, but just as long as there's just that consistent amount of people that stick around, growth will continue. So, I think you're completely right though. Those kind of situations do far more for the platform than any kind of huge major signing.
Who's Jake Future? Because he just joined my event like during this stream, so I'm assuming he's watching.
Jake Future, he's been working with Kick for like over a year now. He's a friend of Aiden's.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Does he do IRL?
I'm not sure exactly what type of content he does, but if he signed up for your event, he's got to do IRL, right?
Yeah, I mean, and he's the second biggest now after Ice, so that's an interesting. Ice might actually have some competition.
Wait, Jake Future's the second biggest following?
Yeah, he has 55,000 followers.
Yeah, shit, that's big.
Yeah, not bad.
Fuck,
interesting.
If I joined, what would I be?
Wait, how many followers you got? 126,000. You'd be below Ice. You'd be number 2. Eddie, you should run it up. Just like 1 or 2 challenges. Just give it a go.
How many followers Ice got? Oh, fucking 167.
Yeah. You could just take some of them away though. You have the back end. Just take them away.
Yeah, I think we need a bot clean up here.
Yeah. All right, that's sick. I mean, I've kind of gone through everything. I know that the most boring questions to me are like Kick features, but what about like casting and Apple TV? I know probably people rant on about that all the way to you.
Like you can Chromecast and AirPlay from the app onto the TV. Like I'm sure people are doing that right now. In terms of like the iOS TV app and Android TV app, we've got some really cool news coming out super soon. We've been internally testing that for a bit. I think some creators actually have access to that, early access. I could probably get you early access to that if you wanted to test it out and give us some feedback.
Sure. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, it's just some stuff that people brought up before. Yeah, I mean, unless there's any subjects you really want to talk about, I liked our conversation because like I come in here sometimes and I watch and like it's nice to get a little bit of emotion out of you, Eddie. Sometimes I see memes in my Discord of you sitting there like
what do you mean? I enjoy all the conversations. To be fair, it's just like I'm obviously I know you a bit better, right? So I can be a little bit more relaxed.
Yeah.
When I'm meeting someone for the first time, I can't like tell them to kind of go fuck themselves kind of situation, right? I gotta be careful.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. No, it's nice and relaxed.
No, I had a good talk. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, no, well, hopefully I answered some of your concerns around the moderation stuff.
Yeah.
I hear you loud and clear, but I also hear the other side of the fence loud and clear. And, I truly believe there's a way to kind of like find that balance. But, I think like I promised you something. I'm going to stick to that. At the same time, we're gonna keep on working through it. It's a complicated subject. As you know, you've been around this scene for fucking ages. Like you've seen it all. So, I'm sure you appreciate that it's difficult.
I do understand. on behalf of the you know what the chat's like. They want it to be the fucking Wild West. They don't think about anything other than their content and what they get to see, and they don't care if someone's dying on camera. Like, it's content for them. So, but to be real, like, with everyone watching, in reality, no one's doing it like Kick. Like, that's why we're all here. Otherwise, like, no one lets us do the content we want to create like Kick does. Otherwise, we wouldn't be streaming here. Like, that's how it is. Like, we get to do more here than we can do anywhere else. And I think there needs to be, like, at least a little, W for Kick for that. Like, they really are doing decent.
Well, what
And,
you know,
and Eddie's a good
when you
Eddie's a viewer.
well, when you take that idea, right? Like, you've been on these platforms, right? Let's assume, like, right now, obviously Kick has a little bit of stuff we need to achieve. You mentioned, like, the TV apps, the Chromecast, all these kind of things, right? We need to get sorted. Like, Kick gets that sorted. Kick maintains its oath to, promise towards being able to cater towards this kind of content. Like, do you personally see any reason Kick won't win the live streaming industry?
I think if Kick understands exactly where its market is in terms of the people, like, for the streamers, like, to the market for what they're trying to hit for the content that's on the platform, and they understand that and they give it a place, then yeah, I don't see why it won't succeed. But if it pushes towards being too much like other platforms that are out there, then streamers are going to go to the platform where they can get the bigger viewership, the biggest eyes on them. So as long as Kick always makes itself as a place which allows something for the streamers that other places don't allow, then there's no reason why more streamers aren't going to be here that are making better content, that are bringing over more viewers, that it's growing.
Yeah, no, I agree. We're at the end of the day, right? Like we said, the most important aspect of live streaming or in the platform itself is the people streaming on the platform and what they're subsequently able to produce, right? So, we give people the right tools, we give people the right guidelines to be able to do that, and then yeah, I'm pretty confident. But we'll see, right? It's the fun and games of it all, right?
Yeah.
It's at the end of the day, Kick's always going to have its place in the content creation world. Whether or not that's at the very top, it doesn't really matter to me. As long as the live streaming industry in itself is growing, as long as we're all having fun, we're all enjoying ourselves, that's all that matters. So it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good.
Why did you guys pop off so hard in, like, South? Because I travel a lot. So when I'm around, people ask me where I'm streaming on, and I say, like, I'm streaming on Kick. But nowhere like South America. When I said, oh, I'm streaming on Kick, they're like, oh, yeah, I know the platform. I have it on my phone. I have the app on my phone. Like, nowhere I've traveled to has that demographic like in South America. Why is that?
Because I think that the South American community has been neglected on all other social media platforms, and we just showed it a little bit of love. We just showed a little bit of help, and they truly reciprocated that love, and it's been very easy to walk in there and almost take the industry very quickly. And I must say it's much simpler over there too. Like you mentioned, there's a lot of politics involved in the English market. There's a lot of people to appease. In South America, no one gives a fuck. They just all want to enjoy themselves. It's so easy, man. Yeah. It's so chilled down that way.
But if you can replicate that somewhere else, like that, bro, I couldn't believe everyone knew what Kick was there. I couldn't believe it. I really couldn't. It was shocking to me that everyone knew what Kick was. So yeah, like, if you could replicate that somewhere else, maybe get Deepak Smash in the Indian market or something. I don't know. Like that seemed really crazy when I was there, just as someone who was out walking around, and I went to like 10 different countries and everyone knew it. So yeah, it was really good.
Yeah, no, we got to replicate that. Leave it with us. We'll we'll have to figure that out. That's proof of concept.
Can I like put you on the spot and set like a small challenge? Can you give me like a number of like average viewerships that like my next up category has to have, and then you send me to space?
What? Send you to space.
Yeah, like just set me a goal, and then if I hit that goal, you buy me a seat on the balloon that sends me to space so I can live stream going to space.
Man, that kind of reminds me. Remember, there was like that. Was that submarine that went like looking for the Titanic? What if that happens and it's like Eddie sends Kick Streamer to fucking space and then gets lost?
This is where you're getting it wrong. It's not a Kick Streamer. It's Sam Pepper. So it's a W for either way. If I go missing on a balloon, everyone's like, "Win Eddie." Sam's gone. You know?
Oh man, Twitter won't see it that way.
All right. I'll start my fucking.
How much does it cost to get you to space?
125,000.
$125,000.
Yeah, it's
how long are you in space for?
2 hours flight up, 2 hours in space, and then 2 hours down.
So it's like $20,000 an hour.
I'd be the best paid Kick streamer ever for them 6 hours.
Wait, so hold on. Can you actually live stream? Can you get internet up there?
There's internet in the pod. There's internet. So I need to I need to obviously reach out to them and ask them is it feasible for me to live stream? But yes, there's internet in the pod.
Okay, wait. So what do you think a fair requirement would be? So obviously the Next Up game runs for how long?
It runs for 12 days.
Okay, so 12 days. What do you think a fair average viewership would be for the whole 12 days?
Let me, because obviously the problem is the average viewership might decline as the viewers drop off, but also a lot of
down, right?
Yeah.
Oh, towards the end, you mean?
Yeah, towards the end, because there'll be less people competing, so maybe less viewers who care about them people are going to be watching. But let's say if we is like 25,000 a lot, 30,000, 25,000, is that a lot? Or how much did ICE have? Do you know?
I don't know. I think it averaged 20,000, so because it went. No, it was a bit more actually. I reckon it's probably about 25, 30.
Okay.
Yeah, he got up to 50K during the day, I think, or 40K during the day. But it was then went down 10K at night. No, so the average. I don't know. I could find out.
Yeah, I mean, you can come back to me, and then I can let everyone know the challenge you've set me if you decide you want to do it.
What if over the whole entire 12 days, if it averages 25,000, I send you the space?
Yeah, what a fucking conversation to have. Yes, I'm down. Let's fucking go.
Again,
25,000.
if you go missing that Titanic thing, do you excuse me for any
Yes, yeah. I begged you to do this. I begged you. This is completely on me.
Okay, well, I hope you don't go missing up there. That'd be quite sad, but...
No.
Is it
I don't
dangerous?
think I will.
Is it dangerous or...
Yes. I don't... 1,600 people have already paid their deposits.
Oh.
1,600 people.
Okay, so it's full commercialized.
Yes.
So it's kind of like going on a bus almost. It's pretty safe.
I wouldn't say it's like going on a bus. You're attached to a balloon in a pod that carries you to space. Oh wait, look. I sent. Look at this. Sent this just a minute ago. I can quickly screen share with me if you give me 1 second. Yo, Melon or someone, can you ping down the last message I sent in the link I sent in the Discord? They have a chef on there. They have everything on there. It looks kind of crazy. Can you start? I'm not gonna have a Starlink there. I think that's everything I need to cover. I don't know if I want to take up any more of your time if you've got
Yeah, I'm
if
not
you've
gonna
got
lie,
other
man. It's
things
like
to do.
4 a.m. here in Australia, so I've probably got to bounce. But let's make a deal.
Yeah.
25K average over 12 days. We send you to space.
All right then. Okay then. 25. Bro, that's I can't believe that challenge. All right, 25K can count. So I'm gonna need everyone to go crazy on this event. Everyone needs to be streaming. Everyone needs to be watching. That's gonna be crazy if I go to space and I live stream it.
We're gonna deduct like the blatant view bots. If someone sits there with like 100K viewers, yeah, again.
Yeah. No,
it
of
has
course,
to be
of course.
fair play.
Yeah. All right, then I'm with it. All right, thank you again, Eddie, and I hope that I didn't come across like rude or anything in my approach. Like I'm passionate about this like you are, and I think we had a good debate out of it. Don't take away like my
demonetize you. I took no offense at all. No, I think you raised good points.
Yeah.
And again, this is the whole reason we have these Kick Talks is like, I think people kind of think of like streaming platforms and YouTube or whatever as like faceless platforms that just, like you said, they're like paid CEOs or whatever who just kind of like say the right things and put out PR shit. That's not what it's about. That's what Kick Talk's about, is to show, hold on, there's like real people behind a real platform that like give a fuck and want to have like authentic conversation, right? Like it's literally the whole point of putting on this show every Saturday. So they're the kind of conversations we want to have, legit. So thanks for asking the right questions. And you know, it's going to be an evolving matter, and we're probably going to have more arguments about this in the future when you message me on fucking Telegram complaining about someone else getting banned. But you know, again, that's healthy.
Yeah. And thank you again. Thanks. Like, I don't think people understand how crazy it is to have like someone like this, like owning a platform like Kick and putting this time in and this effort in and this communication with the community. And like people in the chat, they've got used to it and they've got entitled to the fact that they're in the chat of like the guy who made this happen, and they actually have a say in what happens with the platform, and they forget that like no one else is doing that. Like no one else is doing that. So I really do appreciate that.
Hey man, that means a lot. I appreciate the kind words. But yeah, it's been awesome having you on, and you know, appreciate your community coming in as well and dropping a lot of love. There's a few extra viewers in here this week, which has been great. So no, it's been good.
Thank you. I'll catch you in a bit, Eddie.
See you, Sam.
Bye.
Alrighty, guys. Thank you heaps for tuning in. That was a really good Kick Talk. I think every Kick Talk lately has been awesome. I'm not gonna lie, they've been great. I think last week was fucking bonkers with Slasher. That was like, you know, that was super interesting. And then obviously the week before was pretty epic too. I don't know. We've had a few back to back, you know, really authentic Kick Talks. I think you know, it's exactly what we're trying to achieve. You know, I think Sam was kind of apologizing at the end there about, you know, about being too harsh or something, but there's no such thing as that. And asked some really good questions. I think moderation will always be one of the most important subjects for a platform. Moderation is the most contentious topic, no matter where you sit on it. Whether you want more moderation, whether you want less, it's one of them things which we're always going to have to, you know, again, try to strike balance. But I think that's where Kick's going to win. You know, I think Kick is probably the best shot at being able to hear both sides of the fence. You know, like we completely hear loud and clear the people who want more moderation, and we understand and we accept that that's needed. And then we also hear the people who say, hold on, you got to be careful, you can't over moderate. So it's this ongoing subject, which I think is really interesting. I think it's where Kick can really succeed. But anyway, guys, I've got to run, but we've got Kick Talk coming up next Saturday too. Every Saturday Kick Talk's on. So episode 17, I think Andrew's got some epic guests lined up. But you know, I say this at the end of every Kick Talk, the simple fact that I've got, you know, several hundred people sitting here listening to me talk about something that I'm so passionate about is like truly a fucking honor. There's like very few businesses, industries in the world where you can be like so passionate about what you do and have people like backing you and coming to like listen to you speak about it. Like, man, it's so sick. So I appreciate you all for dropping in. You know, it really does mean so much. And, you know, looking forward to having some more awesome conversations with some more guests and, you know, continuing to extrapolate on what Kick stands for and what we're going to be doing in the future. We've got some really cool updates coming out soon as well, which I'm super keen to be able to showcase here on Kick Talk as well. But anyway, I'm going to grab some sleep, guys. I'll see you guys next weekend if you want to drop in. Hope you all have an amazing weekend. Let's quickly find someone to host. Just checking.